Steel boots stomping, crashing the floor. Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag-off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. From the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two dumb Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Nobody going there for 45 minutes. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 846 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. I want to say to everybody this morning, welcome back to the show. A lot of things going on today. Getting ready to head into week 10 of the NFL. Kicking off tonight, actually, a game on Thursday night between the Raiders and the Broncos. If the Raiders could maybe do something, it could help us out a little bit. But we will see. We'll get into that and a lot more as we get ready for the San Diego LA Chargers this weekend, guys. Good morning. Welcome back. Mike, I'm going to ask you for a huge favor. I'm going to just bounce out and bounce back in. For some reason, I don't have a board on my main screen, a chat board. So let me bounce out, and I'm going to bounce right back in. So just give me a second, okay?
In the meantime, I'll just bust through these opening comments, if you don't mind. Feel the Steel. Cheers, fans. What's up, everybody? Good to see you. Good to see you, Feel. Corey Beavers, good afternoon, fellas. Great news. So I hate TikTok, but I'm using it as a business tool to promote my pod. While my pod is not moving still at all, my TikTok is over 5K.
Hold off on that, Finch, please.
Sorry, buddy.
I don't know why I don't have a board. It's fucking crazy. It seems like everybody else has a board, so I'm just going to go with the flow and use use a secondary board. There's literally no reason why I shouldn't have a terrible board up right now, but here we go, guys. We're gonna try to get through this. Fuck. 3 weeks, guys. Just 3 weeks from Thanksgiving. Here we are, guys, ready to head into week 10. Sorry, Finch. Go ahead, man. Continue what you were doing. I'm just.
Oh no, I was just busting through the comments so we didn't have dead air. Just saying, cheers to Feel the Steel. Corey Beavers was talking about his TikTok, and that is, he said his podcast is not moving quite like he likes, but his TikTok is crushing it. Congratulations on that, Corey. I've been watching the shows, the Let's Talk Steelers Talk, right? It's pretty good. I like it. Gang, gang. Keller Thass, good to see you. Permanis. Feel the Steel. Fincher, loser. I was bad. My picks were terrible, man. Corey, moving close to monetization. All the same content, too, which is weird. That means we have quality content. Would you agree? I would agree. Christophist, hey, guys. Feel the Steel. I wonder what educational lesson Vegas has got for us today. Vegas on yet? Vegas, you out there? What you got for us, buddy? Cody Finch, what's up, brother? What's up? I am the loser. I know.
All right,
I'm gonna make up
my
for it
mind.
this
Let me
week.
jump in here.
That's the last one.
And nothing against you. I'm having a little bit of a problem on my end, and I kind of have to do what I'm going to do. So I apologize, Finch.
Don't worry about it.
Motherfucker. Yeah, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the board, guys. We have a lot of things to get into. I'm just going to throw this out right off the top because we're going to go Steelers for the duration, guys. The Pittsburgh Penguins do host the Washington Capitals again tonight. Mike, this will be the millionth time that we face Alexander Ovechkin. The Penguins bring in their 8-4-2 record. This game's at 7:30 tonight as the Penguins host the Capitals. Mike, is your mic on? I like when I say his mic on and he keeps talking.
Wow. Okay, so no wonder no one ever heard me.
So I was just talking and Mike was just.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. I apologize. I didn't mean to be a dick. I really didn't. I really didn't. I swear to you.
I didn't take it that way. It's good.
All right. Let me just kind of get caught up here. Corey, good afternoon, man. Great news. So I hate TikTok. I'm using it as a business tool to promote my pod while my pod is not moving still at all. Why TikTok is over 5,000. That's a good place to start because everybody and their mother seems to see anything on TikTok, as a matter of fact. Some things I post on places and you get minimal amount of replies. TikTok, you get over 1,500. So, that's certainly a good place to do that. Corey, I hope that works for you. Continue to do it, man. Keep up the hard work. Yes, what's up, Caller Haas? Nice to see you, man. Yes, I'm gonna get hold of you this weekend, dude. We got big plans, we got big things going on, so we're gonna try to get together and get something figured out with the guys. I might try to intertwine. This is what I might do, because I've been telling Keller House we have some plans for him and the guys over at Combo Wombo. I was thinking maybe get the guys from Jamal too, and maybe put something together, maybe some kind of like competition or something, have a couple of these shows kind of facing off against one another, going head to head right here on the Two Dumb Yinzers. I think that could be a lot of fun. So I will be getting a hold of you, Color Ross. And I know I've been saying that. I apologize. I will this weekend because, again, I do want to get something set up with the shows that do participate with us and come and spend time with us. And I think it could be a lot of fun. So keep that in mind, Color Host. Talk to the Bens, if you will. Yeah, Finch, your picks were horrible this week.
I don't know what I did wrong, man.
I literally don't know either. I think you got 6 out of 14, but
yeah, it was ridiculous. It's by far my worst week.
Are you picking these with your eyes open? I don't know. I've never 6 correct, and you're usually a pretty smart guy.
Yeah, I've been pretty good, pretty consistently good. I'm just looking back at my picks. I mean, some of these though. I mean, for one, I picked the Colts over the Steelers. So that was one that But I don't know. It was just a tough week. It was a tough week.
To be fair, though, picking the Colts over the Steelers, I don't think would necessarily be a bad pick for last week. I think most of America, unless you are a Yinzer or a Steeler Nation, probably would have also suspected the Indianapolis Colts to win that game. Christophus, my man, always great seeing Christophus on the board. How are you doing today, sir? Feel the Steel. What's up, bro? Wonder what educational lesson that Vegas got for us today. Cody, Feel the Steel. Luza, what's up? Feel the Steel. Oh, damn, I saw a bright beam of light. It's Mike's head. And it's full high beam today. There's no headband to protect us. It is straight. Look at that. I'm just staring at his head.
Nope. You all want to play game?
All right, that works.
Now he is the what's that? Who was the guy? The bomber, the Unabomber.
Oh yeah, Ted Kaczynski.
Got a little.
You're vanilla Kaczynski today.
I wish I was as smart as him.
All right.
He was a mathematical genius, what I'm saying.
Yeah. He also lived in a cabin in the middle of Montana woods or wherever it was.
You know what? That sounds comforting.
And then murdering everybody. So yeah.
And then murdering people by mail.
Vegas says on this date, 1860, Abe Lincoln was elected the 16th president. Guys, I have something interesting too. For 25 years ago, get this. 25 years ago, the Steelers did not let up a touchdown for 5 straight games, breaking the becoming the first NFL team to do so since the 1976 Steelers, guys. In 2000, and I remember this because it was the year the Ravens won the Super Bowl. and they had an amazing defense. And we only lost to them like 9-6. I think one of the scores, or was 6-9 or 9-0. But both games were very close. And you knew that both teams had a great defense. Neither team had great offenses. I mean, Baltimore did win the Super Bowl, but it was on the back of Ray Lewis and company. I'd have to say more on the defense. But 25 years ago, guys, the season of 2000, the Steelers went 5 straight games without letting up a single touchdown. And prior to that, it was the 1976 Steelers that was able to do that. So if we're going to look back and look on some dates and things like that, that is very, very interesting. And again, if we had any kind of an offense, of course, people will say, oh, Bill Cowher's teams. If you had Cordell Stewart as your quarterback, believe me, you wouldn't have had all winning seasons either. Luckily, that hasn't been the case for this team.
In today's NFL, you might.
I don't know. Cordell throwing 5 interceptions a game and giving up a fumble is also not going to get you many wins either, as I recall.
He was still pretty good.
Stat line specifically.
Yeah, he had a bad game. Yeah, I remember that.
It was only the biggest game. It was the AFC Championship game against
That's
the
right,
Broncos. But who's keeping track, guys? Nonetheless, that was probably one of the best Steeler defenses of all time. Unfortunately, we had a terrible, terrible offense and a bad turnover problem on offense, if you will. But that is very interesting, guys. I thought that was a really cool number. Again, guys, just 30 years ago from the Dallas and Pittsburgh Super Bowl, Finch. You might have been a pretty young guy, but that was 30 years ago. And
I was in
guys,
6th grade.
And another thing is 20 years ago. It's been, of course, we remember since all the guys showed up at the game on Sunday. It's been 20 years since our first Super Bowl, the one for the thumb, if you will, Finch, when the Steelers did beat Seattle 21-10. Yeah, what's going on, guys? Let me get into a couple things. Thursday Night Football does kick off tonight. Las Vegas is traveling to Denver. This can't help us if the Vegas Raiders would do anything. If they could help us and get a win, get Denver, give them another loss, we would move up. We would be 3. Depending on what goes on through the weekend. We aren't out of reach for the number 1 seed. Say what you want about this team. Are you confident? Are you comfortable? Do you like what you see? We are still only just this far out of the number 1 seed as we speak. The Steelers having 3 losses on the year, and the number 1 seed Colts have 2 losses on the year. So that is something to keep in mind as well. I was thinking about this actually, Mike. If we beat here in a few weeks, we beat Buffalo, do you start feeling confident about this team? And again, I'm not even saying it because I'm putting Buffalo on this pedestal. This is going to be, the first top tier team I'd say that we play this year. Would you say if we end up beating Buffalo, does the Steeler collective, do they start getting a little bit more confident in what the Steelers have this year? Because right now I think it's up in the air. Some people say if we're consistent, we could be okay. If the defense plays, we'll be good. If they don't show up, we'll be bad. Let me ask you guys, if we beat Buffalo, does that change the way you feel, deep inside when you say to yourself, this team, they're just not going to do it. I really think this team could do it. What does this team do to you, Mike and Finch, if they do manage to beat Buffalo in a few weeks?
If they would beat Buffalo, which is the way I feel about them, I'd be really confident. But I guarantee you, a lot of Steelers fans would be like, it was just one game. Show it to me in the playoffs. But, Buffalo is right now, they're considered the cream of the crop, even though record-wise they're not there. But you have Josh Allen, reigning MVP of the league, Super Bowl favorites for the past couple years. They just knocked off KC again. So, yeah, I think me personally, I'd have more faith in them than I do now going into the playoffs.
Let me ask you this. Let's say we beat Buffalo. We lose a shit game somewhere in that time period because of defense. Say defense doesn't show up and we totally shit the bed the way we did. And then we play Detroit a few weeks later. And let's say we beat Detroit. Beat Buffalo, a shit loss because of a defense. It didn't come out and play. And then beat Detroit. Now how are you feeling heading into January?
I'd be feeling really good. You're beating 2 quality teams. Yeah, bad losses happen all the time in the NFL. But, going in and beating 2 of the better teams, 2 Super Bowl favorites to start the season, or 2 teams expected to make deep playoff runs, be feeling really good.
What about you, Finch? I mean, to beat either one of those teams, is that going to make you feel a little bit more positive and optimistic about what the Steelers could do this year? Because, again, it's mixed, and it's rightfully so mixed. I don't think we should be overexcited. I don't think that we should be too down on this team. Again, 31 teams are losers every year. So to say that we're the best team, I just don't know. Can we make it into the the round robin and win some games, make some things happen. My question for you, Finch, is let's say that situation happens. Let's say in a 4-game span, and I don't know exactly what the games play out as. I don't have the schedule in front of me. Let's say they beat Buffalo. Let's say they beat Detroit. Let's say they lose a shit game somewhere in there and they lose another shit game. And let's just say this 4-game span. How do you feel about the Steelers coming out winning games against teams that they're probably not expected to beat, but still manage to drop those games that they should win? What does that? How does that have you feeling about the Steelers heading into January, Finch?
Well, I mean, if they're beating quality teams, you got to feel good about the team. I mean, we just beat a quality team, right?
And losing
I feel
the bad
a lot better.
teams,
Yeah, and we keep banging this drum, but we play to our competition every time, man.
Right.
You would have to feel at least a little bit better knowing that we are capable of standing up to these better teams. Our defense really took down, one of the better offenses in the league statistically this season with ease. I mean, we killed them. It's hard to say, because once again, you said, what if we lose a shit game or two? Between the span of those 2 games, we play the Ravens, we play the Bengals, we have the Dolphins, a couple of shit teams there. It's Chicago, who is up and down, they're 6 or 7. So, yeah, right. So they're, they have good games. They're kind of like the Steelers in that way. They can show up to play and other games they don't. And the Bears will probably show up to play against the Steelers because they got Aaron Rodgers and they hate Aaron Rodgers. So, but traditionally Rodgers does well against them too. So, it's hard to say there. However, I do think that if you beat the Bills and you beat the Lions, who are probably the 2 highest quality teams remaining on our schedule, that you at least have to feel good about our fundamentals and our ability to keep up with our opponents.
I agree. I think a win against either one of those teams gives me the confidence that maybe, just maybe, we could make a little bit of noise in the playoffs. If we lose both of these games, is it just more of the same? More of, well, this is going to be another season. We get in, it's one and done. Do we have to win one of those games, Finch, to be considered a team that could do anything in January?
Let me flip that around real quick. What if those are the only 2 games we lose the rest of the year? You know what I mean? And we beat all the shit teams, and it's like, but we can't beat the good team. What if we beat the Ravens both times? We beat the Bengals, we beat the Bears, and whoever else we play. Then it's like the conversation kind of flips, right? So it's half of one. And what do they say? Half a dozen of one and 6 of the other. It's how well they play throughout the season is going to determine how things are going to go. They will look better when they're playing quality and beating quality opponents. But if that's the only 2 teams you lose to, it's like, oh, well, you lost to really good teams, but they beat everybody else they should. They're still a good team. Do you know what I mean? People will look at the Steelers that way either direction, I think.
And if that happens, guys, if that would happen, what you're saying, Finch, that would put us at 11 and 5,
6, right?
11 and 6 on the season, or 12 and 5, or whatever it is.
Solid record.
And that's,
Solid
guys,
record.
that's certainly better than anything that we've been doing lately. So, I mean, yes, we'll be excited. But again, you want to at least be able to see us put up a fight against one of those 2 other teams. And like I said, if we could beat one, I will really feel good, because that just shows me that this team does have the capabilities of putting together a winning game plan against a good team, against a team that is generally successful in this league as of the past couple of years, at least. And that shows us that we could run with that kind of team. And to this point, I just don't know. Because we haven't beat one of these teams in quite some time in this league for quite a few seasons. If you're looking at Philadelphia's, Buffalo's, Kansas City's teams like this, they are teams that they handle us. As you look down the stretch last year, they surely did. Prior to, they surely did. And so if we could change things this year, but let's get into some other scoop here, guys, as we do get rolling. And we will get back to the board here shortly. I do want to say this: Mean Joe Green is alive. This morning, there's been a lot of talk, of course, about the defensive end, the 24-year-old Marshawn Nealon. He passed away from the Dallas Cowboys. But also in all this, I'm seeing people putting up Mean Joe Green had passed away. I've seen it in multiple posts on social media. So if anybody did see this, Mean Joe Green is alive and well. Mean Joe is not dead, but feel for the kid out of Dallas. So that sucks, guys. A few things will we get into here. Sunday Night Football. We do play Sunday Night Football again this week. Third primetime game in just 4 weeks, Mike. Sunday Night Football will feature one of the NFL's least flag-happy refereeing crews. Does this play to the Steelers' advantage, or does this play to the Chargers' advantage, or does this just play to it's going to be a good football game and we're going to be able to enjoy football without an overabundance of laundry flying around all evening? Mike, the least flag-happy ref crew Sunday night.
I think it's going to benefit both teams and the fans. They're going to let the guys play. and that's what a lot of people want. Hopefully, just call the egregious shit, call the shit that that's obvious, and let them play. None of this ticky-tacky bullshit. I think it's going to help the Steelers too. Allow the corners to be physical on their guys, and to give that front some more time. Allow Joey Porter and whoever he's matched up against, let him get a little tug inside, little hold inside. To where the refs let it go. Say, they're just hand fighting. Maybe allow our offensive linemen. Of course, might allow their guys to a little hold here, a little tug there. Give the quarterback some time. As long as it's called evenly, I'm all for it. Let's go. Let the guys play. Call the egregious shit.
All right, I like it, Mike. Again, I'm a fan of having less penalties, but be fair. If there's an obvious penalty, call the shit. I mean,
call penalties when there are penalties,
right?
And the other calls too, like that ridiculous forward progress call that happened in that game last week. Just have some sense with that stuff as well. Like, you hate it when a score comes down to a call like that. That's sort of a judgment call. This crew would probably look at that and say, "Hey, it is what it is. It looked like a tackle. He's down, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? He's up. He's good." Hopefully you're right. No longer.
I can also, Finch, I think you could go back 2 games where the guy was literally offsides.
Yeah. I mean, he was all the way offsides, and just like,
there is literally no way that these professional referees across the board, and I'm not just talking about the side judges, I'm talking about guys that are behind the play, the guy that stands directly behind the nose tackle, the official, the guy that stands in the backfield. So that's what I'm talking about, guys. Stop the bullshit. Let's call it fair. Let's have a good fucking game. Again, you can't not call that kind of penalty and call bullshit penalties all night. It's starting to look a lot like hockey. I don't like that. Referee the game fair. Just officiate it fair. That's all. Again, that was an offsides. There's not a person on this planet that would disagree with that. And again, if you were these high-paid officials in the NFL, there's no way that should have been missed. So that is my beef on that. I'm glad to have the lowest flag-friendly refereeing crew this week.
It should be a fast-moving game then. Should be a very fast-moving game. They're like, get him in, get him out, boys. Let's get paid and go home.
And since we're talking about penalties, I just looked it up real quick. The Steelers are the 5th least penalized team, and the Chargers are the 7th most penalized team. So,
and I'm going to give you some other numbers today that are going to blow your mind about this Charger team. So hang loose, everybody. Welcome back to the show, guys. This is the Two Dumb Yinzers. This is Thursday. We're only 3 weeks away from Thanksgiving, Finch. I know you love Thanksgiving because I've known you for many years, except 1 year. You managed to get all 4 of your wisdom teeth pulled the day before
6 total teeth.
Thanksgiving. I could have cried my eyes out for you.
I cried my eyes out.
But you had to get it done. They scheduled you. You got it done, and just heading right into the holiday. I remember you had all those teeth pulled, and it was rough.
It was terrible, man. It was one of those situations where they couldn't line up the anesthesiologist till after Christmas, and I was in serious pain. Like, I was in bad pain. They pulled 6 teeth. All 4 wisdoms and then 2 molars because they were pushing, they were impacted. So I was in bad pain for weeks, and I told the boss, like, hey, the day before Thanksgiving, I'm getting my teeth pulled. And I got the night off, and it was a terrible week.
Yeah, I can recall we worked together, and I know that you wasn't too happy. I remember you trying. I remember you saying you had corn stuck up in your
yeah, exactly. I had these giant, like, dime-sized gaps in my gums, and I tried to eat corn, and it got stuck in there. It was a mess, but I was able to eat mashed potatoes and gravy, so at least it wasn't a full loss.
You're right. A couple more things, and then we're going to get back to the board. I promise you, Alex Highsmith was named the Defensive Player of the Week this week. That's right, Alex Highsmith with 2 sacks, 3 tackles for losses, 1 forced fumble, and 1 pass defended. I mean, it wasn't anywhere close to what Peyton Wilson did with his numbers. But anyway, I'm not even going to argue that today. We're winning. I like it. Alex Highsmith, Defensive Player of the Week, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for losses, 1 forced fumble, 1 pass defended. Guys, let me give you, let me just give you a couple more things to blow smoke up your ass. Now we're going to get to the board. Then we're going to get to some interesting numbers about this Charger team in just a moment, guys. A little smoke to blow up your ass. According to PFF, of course, I don't always like PFF. Only when it goes in my favor, I like PFF.
Exactly.
PFF says this, Mike, the offensive line of the Pittsburgh Steelers cracks the top 10. Mike, the offensive line of the Pittsburgh Steelers, number 9. According to PFF, it is PFF. Take it as you want, but there you go, Mike. We were talking about how well this line is coming along just yesterday on the show. For them to certainly just catch the attention of media outside of Pittsburgh, and especially PFF, who's certainly been kind of anti-Steelers. To say that about our offensive line, Mike, I think that it's big news. It's certainly because we've been building this team in the draft with our number 1 picks around this offensive line and defensive line. You like to hear this kind of stuff.
Like to see that, and to piggyback off that, I was before the show going over some things, and I saw a service that broke down, PFF, ESPN, and another analytical site ranking of offensive lines. This was just for pass protection. The aggregate score had the Steelers as a top 10 pass blocking offensive line. That's good to see. Yeah, Aaron's getting rid of the ball quick, but those guys are playing well up front. And like you said, man, 2 number 1 draft picks, a 5th round or a 4th rounder, and a 2nd rounder on that line, all drafted within the past 3 years. This is what you like to see. This is what they wanted to do, man. Start from inside out on one side of the ball and build from there. It's good to see. And these guys are playing some pretty good football, and they've gone up against some pretty good pass rushers and have been able to minimize the impact. Yeah, the greats are going to get their numbers, but minimize the impact. And they've been doing that.
They did. They handled Smiles Carrot. They handled a few other guys along the way. Again, say what you want, but the defense certainly played a part of us being at this point. Say what you want. The offense has certainly kind of been carrying the team thus far, but big games like last week, the defense does step up. Mike, we're going to talk about this offensive line just for a couple more minutes here. This is what you want from that group of guys at this point. You think about it, we are drafting. In that sense, we are trying to build around this team. We're kind of using the model that the Eagles did, get that strong interior line, and then you're able to build outside of that. So is this progress? This is kind of right around where you expect them to be. I know a little early on was a lot of hiccups and burps with Roger Jones, some injuries, Fatanu, starting a couple rookies last year. Are you, Finch and Mike, are you guys satisfied? Is this where we should be right now? Would you expect it to be any better, any worse, or is this kind of satisfactory for a Steeler fan?
To me, it's satisfactory because you figure that whole right side and the center are all 2nd-year players. Fatanu only has these games in like maybe 1 or 2 of his rookie year under his belt, so I'm happy with him. Roger Jones, I wish he was a little further along, but he has been very impressive this year in the sense that you haven't really worried about him against anyone. Whether it's the way the team is designing to game plan around like a Myles Garrett or Micah Parsons, but when left on the island, he's not doing that bad of a job. He's a serviceable left tackle. If that's all he ends up being, I'll take that. It'll be fine. He was the number 1 pick. You wanted him to be an all-world tackle, but if you can get 7-8 years of a serviceable left tackle out of the 1st round where you don't have to worry about him the latter half of his career, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with all those guys right now in their development.
I agree 100%, Mike. And one other thing about Broderick Jones, I've noticed he's doesn't take the penalties he was taking last season and early this season. So he's becoming more disciplined, and just him being a disciplined, serviceable player will gain us or not lose us yardage every game. So that's good that he's at least cleaning up his game.
Yeah, the only thing I've been mad about him is him tackling Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
that was my biggest complaint
so bad
all year long.
That could have certainly been a lot worse. We'll take it for its comedic value. I don't think that will ever be forgotten, Mike. We're going to talk about that for years. We're going to say, hey, guys, you remember back in 2025 when when Aaron Rodgers was here that year, Roger Jones literally tackled him.
It's our butt fumble.
It's our butt fumble. Or when Gus Frerotte headbutted the wall.
Concussed himself on a concrete wall.
A couple other things, guys. The NFL.com, as last couple of weeks they've had, I think it was I think it was all the way across the board. They had the Colts beating us, but this week, guys, in the 10 people that do pick for NFL.com on the weekly basis, they do have the Steelers, by the way, of 7-3, Mike, 7-3, going in our favor against the Chargers this week. I think that we do have a lot of things going in our favor, and we'll certainly get to that here shortly, as I have some numbers that just might blow your mind if you are a Steeler fan. So let's get to the board first, guys. I don't want to leave anybody out. I see we're active today, and we're going to get right at it. Here we go. Yinzer Joe says, what's up, Yinzers? Always great to see my man Yinzer Joe on the terrible board. What's up, brother? Cody also as well, man. Great to have you. Always great to see you. He says, Matt Canada put Ryan's equipment together. Christopher says, is Corey Trice on the IR again with that knee injury? I don't know. Is he on the IR, Mike? I know he did.
have not seen. I'll go take a quick look here.
All right. I know that he's been missing practice. I'm going to get the injury report up for you guys in just a moment. As of yesterday, Mike will check on the Corey Trice information. Field of Steel says, you know what, Mike? Just you know what, Mike? Just keep on mute. I like that. This is why our board is the terrible board is the smartest group of people I've ever known in my life. Yinzer Joe says this was going to say it's kind of quiet in here, and it was Mike.
All right. You know what, Steele? You just made the list.
Phil the Steel also says this. Vanilla, you look very worried to me. You look worried. You look worried some. It looks like you're going to shoot up something, but worried, I don't know.
I'm a little chilly here in the studio. I'm sorry. I don't have a lot of insulation up top, boys.
We appreciate that, Christmas. Christmas says, hit the like button, fellas. We appreciate that. Cody says Matt Canada is the Two Dumb Yinzers equipment coordinator. It sure seems like it. But the issues we have with this tech.
I when I have to hire out, I take the Art Rooney approach. Who is cheap and who's available. And,
all right.
You get what you get with free with Matt Canada.
Let's see. Vegas says the Sex Pistols performed the first time on this date in 1975. Sid Vicious, right, Finch? That's
right. Pistols. That's right. Sid Vicious and Johnny Rotten, Johnny Lydon, Johnny Rotten. Yeah. Anarchy in the UK.
That could have been Derpy after the scandal. He could have certainly been Johnny Rotten or Johnny
Robbie Rotten
or Robbie Rotten. Let's see. Cody has a good question. He says a lot of asking Vanilla Penn State questions. Cody says, Mike, I know that.
Cody, you just take up your residency over on the list, bud. Thank you very much.
You just made the list.
Tortilla says Darth Vanilla. Going with the darker look today.
Yes.
That's a good one. His own brother turned him in.
Use the pork, Luke.
Yeah. What happened with this guy? Does anybody know?
Damn, brother.
Does anybody know what happened with this young man that passed away? I think
I've read TMZ a little bit ago.
That's what I see was TMZ. Is this? I mean, is that the real information? Do we know?
I don't know.
There's a police report out. There was a single car pursuit. That car got away, crashed. They found out whose car it was. They tracked it to the residency and found him that he died from a single gunshot wound, self-inflicted.
And he sent texts goodbye to his family and some other cryptic dark shit.
Okay.
Yeah. They found out like previous to him going on the pursuit and everything that he was having like suicidal tendencies or thoughts and stuff like that.
What started the pursuit?
Nothing. It was not in the police report.
Oh.
I think from what TMZ said, I think it was they were searching for him because his family got text messages saying goodbye. And I guess his girlfriend said that she heard him say something about wanting to end it all like in the last day or two.
Okay.
And so they didn't find him for a few hours. So they sent the police out and that the whole thing happened.
Gotcha.
Allegedly. This is TMZ. You never know.
Right.
Yeah, it from what I'm piecing together too, there was like a wellness check called in at 11:30 p.m. last night, and
wellness
then at
check,
1 a.m. everything happened. Yeah.
Mark Malone, or I'm sorry, Phil the Steel says the Unabomber. That's what I'm getting. I'm getting a Unabomber, Phil. Mark Malone says doing the math like that will drive you insane, man. What's up, Mark Malone? Always great having you on the terrible board, as always, sir. Cody says he counted cards, and he was a whatard. A whatard?
Wasn't that Alan?
What's that?
Wasn't that Alan from The Hangover?
I think so.
Counting cards.
Phil,
he was.
Phil the Steel says the Yinzer Sith. There you go, Mike. I'm thinking more like the Yinzer syphilis, but we'll go with the Sith.
Yeah, syphilis, it's beforehand.
Syphilis.
Roger, I'm sorry, Richard. Richard, good morning to you, sir. Always great seeing you on the terrible board. Vegas says the Browns announced they were moving to Baltimore on this date, 1995. Interesting.
Sad day. Even in Steeler history, that was a sad day.
Cody says Tommy Maddox the GOAT. If it wasn't for Tommy getting hurt in Baltimore, we wouldn't have had our Ben when we did. So you know what? Tommy was kind of the GOAT in a weird kind of GOAT way, guys.
Butterfly effect kind of way.
Yes, butterfly effect. Phil the Steel says at least from 1992 to 2007, how many AFC playoff wins? I want that to come back. I do too. Playoff wins are nice. They're nice to have every once in a while. Yeah, that was fun, guys. I don't know if anybody remembers those days.
It's like going 8 years without eating a steak, and then when you finally get one, it's just an explosion.
Well, now it's 9, so even longer.
Or 9 years, yeah. Sorry, shit. Thanks,
Christopher
Mike.
says, I heard Darnell Washington suffered a foot injury. I did. I also have that on the report as well. We'll get to the injuries in just one moment. Yinzer Joe says, India and New England don't qualify as top tier. No, they don't. No.
Not yet, anyway.
No. And I could get more into that if you'd like here shortly. Mark says this. Mark Malone says, Mark Malone, I've got to find some old stock of computer duster to gain clarity on this. The paint visions are cloudy for me now. And that's not good when Mark Malone does not have his duster visions. That's not good. Phil still says, my bad, 92-06. Vegas says, I don't care about the Buffalo Lions, whatever win, just win one playoff game this year, please. But I think, like I said, if you get a win against these teams, it gives you a little hope for the playoffs to say we can beat a playoff team. You know what I mean? Playing up against one of those kind of teams is one thing, but you're right. Playing against these other teams, again, Indianapolis and New England, these are teams that I feel confident we could beat because we beat them in the regular season. That's why they're not top tier. Do you feel confident we can beat Buffalo when they come to town this year? Do you feel confident that we're going to beat Detroit? Do you feel confident if we have to play Kansas City, Philadelphia, whatever the case may be? So that's why these teams are not elite. They're not top tier. They're not teams. They're teams that we could totally beat, and we did totally beat them. And again, you don't fear these teams at all. That makes them not elite, in my opinion. Buffalo, you're sitting back, you start thinking to yourself, okay, we got this, we got that, but every time we play this team, they pick us apart. They know how to beat us. And again, having a top quarterback, their guy, the way that they do, that certainly helps in their advantage. We'd like to get that back. Hopefully next year we can start working in that process of getting our guy. So maybe we could become a team that people will fear once again. Listen, I don't get me wrong. I like the Band-Aid that we have. Aaron Rodgers has been a lot of fun. He's doing good things. He's putting points on the board. He's got 17 touchdowns. I think it's tops in the league here or whatever he has. So again, I'm not disappointed, but at some point you're going to want your guy. You're going to need your guy. And Aaron Rodgers, obviously he's Green Bay's guy. He's going to go back there. He's going to retire. They still have all this love for one another. They did everything for me in my life. I got blah, 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 blah. So he's the perfect Band-Aid. I like it. I appreciate it. But again, guys, maybe this draft, we can start moving in that direction again to get that guy so we can become that guy, that team again. When we had Ben, we were a team people didn't look at and say, you know what, we could beat the Steelers. They said, this is a good team, top franchise, Ben Roethlisberger. So that's the difference. Do you think most teams fear us now, fans? I don't. And again, to get back to that point, you got to have your guy. Look around the league. Nobody that's super successful don't not have their guy at quarterback. So again, that kind of plays into it. And maybe Drake May and the Patriots can be that in the future. And you know what? I'm really, really hesitant, Finch and Mike, on this Indianapolis team. I'm not sold at all, to be honest with you. I wasn't sold coming into the game, and I thought we had a very good chance to beat them, and we did. But again, I think New England certainly has their guy. If they build around that and start building every year, I think they can become an elite team in the AFC. That's just what I think. Finch?
Yeah, I have no comment. You nailed every one on the head right there. I will say about Drake May, he has the tools. I think he has the mental ability, kind of like Tom Brady did. He has that mental clarity to be able to take in information in a quick way and make snap decisions. And he's only going to further develop that. So I like Drake May a lot as a quarterback. It's unfortunate he's with the Patriots. We have really, really, really hated the Patriots for the last 25 years. But another point you made about Aaron Rodgers being kind of the Band-Aid one season hit or done touchdown thing, or excuse me, quarterback guy. And he's doing great this season. Don't get me wrong. It has worked before for teams. I mean, Tampa Bay a couple years ago with Tom Brady, obviously the GOAT of all time, but they managed to put a team around him in like one season, and they won a Super Bowl. Denver,
they did have a really good team down there, but they had Jameis Winston as their quarterback.
I understand that, and the Steelers
did that
are
really good
building
team
too.
win before or after that Tom Brady?
No, they didn't. But what I'm saying is the Steelers. It's not an impossible feat. It's not impossible to say that Rodgers can do it this year. That's what I'm saying. It's happened before. He's good enough to do it. Is the team good enough around him? We're still learning, but our confidence is building every week because we win games against not elite Colts, but a solid Colts squad with a solid offense that has been doing a lot of great things this year. It's good to see that our team is waking up on all sides of the ball. It always seems like one's outdoing the other this year. The defense will have a good game and the offense is off. We're finally putting it together. Everything you said there is absolutely right, Ryan. We got to find that franchise guy, and hopefully next year we draft that guy. And until then, Aaron's what we got, and let's make the best of this season while we got it.
Let me say one thing about Aaron Rodgers, guys. 9 different Steelers have a receiving touchdown this year. That is most in the NFL.
That's what elite QBs do. That's what they do, man.
This was again, guys, say what you want about what's going on with our team. This was probably the best situation we could have put ourselves in, as with a bridge quarterback, Band-Aid, whatever you want to call them. Again, how many other teams have 9 different guys receiving touchdowns? None. We're the only team. So, again, did we miss on this? I don't think we did it first. Not the most popular decision to bring Mr. Aaron Rodgers to the neighborhood. But, guys, you could obviously see that it's working out in our favor with those kind of numbers and other numbers as well. Let's jump back on the board. Tortilla says, I won't let myself be confident until after a wild card win, which, fool me once, right? I don't think that that's a bad approach until we could win a playoff game. Maybe it won't even be I guess it would be a wild card round, but if we got the bye, it would be different. But again, that's still way off.
Hey, we have the tiebreaker right now over the top 2 teams.
We do. We have the head-to-head. So again, we get a little bit of help here.
Just got to take care of business.
We got to do what we got to do. We got to win those division games. Are going to be big. We have all of them except for, 2 Baltimores, 1 Cincy, 1 Cleveland. That's 4 more division games along the last, what do we have? 8, 9 games left.
Right.
We got the Chicago and the Miami game, which are totally winnable games. Then you look at Buffalo, Detroit. Again, you make something happen in those games, I think people are going to start looking a little bit differently at your Pittsburgh Steelers, guys. But you have to show the capability to be able to beat one of those teams. I think there's a false feeling of hope with beating the number 1 Colts. But I'm telling you, you beat one of these other 2 teams, people are really going to start believing in your Steelers.
I think so too. Yeah, it's good. They were preseason top dogs. Buffalo still being a top dog. But Buffalo is very beatable this year. You just had what's the games that they lose? The couple games they lost, it was all because they were able to shut down the run game. They were able to force them one-dimensional.
But are they beatable for the Steelers? There's teams that can beat Buffalo, but you got to think of your Steelers.
Right? How's the matchup?
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I don't know what that magic is, but it's there. Something is there, and we can't. They embarrass us. Certainly have the past 2 or 3 times we played them. Unless we talk about that one year in the preseason where Kenny Pickett had the perfect game against Buffalo. That was literally the most.
Ben beat them 1 year. The first game of the year was it like first game of the year of Ben's last year? We beat Buffalo. Yeah.
So
then they beat us in the playoffs. So
until they prove to me that they're not that team, I'm going to still consider them that team in the AFC at least. I would say they are a favorite to go to the Super Bowl in the AFC, even with things going the way that they are. They're solid. They're solid, guys. Let's get back to the board. Tortilla says this. Oh, I'm sorry. Vegas says basketball inventor James Naismith was born on this date in 1861. Pat Tillman, 1976, and Lamar Odom, 1979, were also born on this day.
Fun fact, I wrote an essay about James Naismith in 9th grade English class.
Didn't he used to shoot the ball inside of a actual basket? It
was a peach basket.
Yeah.
Like a big round peach basket that was a lot bigger than like a basket is now.
Wasn't this in Pennsylvania?
Connecticut, I believe, or Massachusetts. I think it was Connecticut.
Okay.
Speaking of peach basket, where's Aunt Peaches at?
Oh,
I don't know. I'm seeing down on the border. People are asking, where's Derpy? Where's Peaches? What's going on with this guy?
I'll tell you what, he better be here in this studio come 8:00 on Sunday night, because we are getting together to watch the game, and we're cooking food. We're drinking Duquesne Pilsner. We're going to have a good time. Derpy better be here.
I agree. Well, he's the one getting on us. He's texting us saying he's good and everything. So
he's been messaging me every day. He's been asking me every question in the book about the setup and the tech, and I'm cool to have those convos, but it's like, bro, come on, trust me, man. I have it set up. It'll be all right.
He's not going to be happy if he's not disappearing and appearing and, going off the camera and coming on.
What's funny is where I have him seated here, he is front and center.
He's going to be change that? He comes in on screen.
Well, not on camera. He'll be front and center in the room.
Can we put him on the back porch with the dog leash on his neck or something? That would be perfect.
We could have his dad.
I'll put him in the laundry room.
Yeah, he could be in the laundry room like the guy from Bronx Tale that they made go sit in the bathroom. Let's get back to it. Tortilla says, or if we cut Slay, my confidence will be through the roof. Corey says this. I'm going to be pessimistic after every loss going forward. Here's the thing. Yes, we're feeling good this week because it was a great game against Indy. But just last week, weren't we pretty down on this team's inability to stop
I
anybody?
was. I did not pick us to win this game.
And it wasn't like we were doing bad. We were doing historically bad, giving up 20 straight receptions, giving up the amounts of numbers that we were giving up to the two receivers prior. It was historic. So, again, consistency is going to be the key of this season's team. No two ways about that. Corey goes on to say, I'll start over. I'm going to be pessimistic after every loss going forward because it's always going to lead back to if we had just traded for, and that's going to be what lingers for the Steeler fans, myself for sure. Phyllis Steele says, damn, Ryan, so Steeler losses from now on will be, it's possible. I'm not going to rule it out. They certainly could be the defense's fault.
The defense is never to blame. The defense is never to blame. This is Pittsburgh, Ryan.
Well, you can't blame your superstars.
You can't blame them.
I know.
Can't blame them.
Can't blame them.
Yeah. Can't blame
right. Especially the top players. You know what I mean? You can't listen. That's Pittsburgh in general. That's Pittsburgh in general. You can't badmouth anybody of superstar, even if they don't perform. You can't have a negative thought on them, which is absolutely insane. Bingo. What's up, Jen? Always great seeing Jen on the board. Hope you're doing well over in Wisconsin. Bingo Winchester. What's up, brother? 07 Pat Tillman, of course. He goes over to fighting the war, and he does pass away. Cody says this: Green Bay lost to the Panthers and Browns. So, you're right. And you know what? Green Bay's. I don't think Green Bay's I don't think that they're a tier 1 team.
No.
I'm talking.
They're like us. They're very
like us.
Hit or miss, man.
Yeah.
You against us, that was like one of the best games they played all year. And then you go back and watch that Browns game. They played absolute dog shit.
Tortilla says this: at Vegas, Lee Dong-wook was born on November 6th as well. Christopher says if Roman didn't fumble that ball, the score would have been 27-14. Vegas says, where's King Derpy? Nobody knows. Yeah, we don't do this every Thursday with him with the picks, The
one I showed up in the last 4 when I was able to get here, he doesn't show.
Yeah.
Am I the garlic to his vampire?
I don't know.
He's definitely a bloodsucker.
Corey says this: beating the teams you're supposed to beat, unfortunately, is not measurement for greatness. But it's a good sign that you're doing something right.
Correct. It's the first step to greatness.
It's the first step, and if that's not happening, then we're fooling ourselves, hoping that there's anything beyond that.
And so really, how many? Sorry, go ahead, Ryan.
Having a high percentage of wins against the teams you're supposed to beat throughout the duration of your season, it's certainly it's a measure of some degree. I don't know if you're going to base everything off of it, but again, I think it's something that you can go by just of where you're at, where you stand amongst everybody else.
And you play a lot more shit teams than you do elite teams in the NFL in a season anyway, most of the time. How often are you playing more than 2 or 3 elite teams in a season, 2 or 3 good teams, and then the rest are mediocre to bad? You have to measure by the competition you have. You have to go with what you got in front of you.
But what Corey is saying, though, he finishes it up by saying greatness comes from beating the guys that you were never supposed to beat, and that also does come along with the so the 2-part question, that was hopefully a good 2-part answer for you.
Fantastic.
Phil says this at Jen. Boom!
Boom!
Oh, there it is.
I was going to say you have a big-ass fucking red button, Fitz. Get on it.
No, you couldn't have a bigger button in your studio. 007, what's up, brother? He says wrong after the Wilson fumble. Joey Porter intercepted. Scott Atkins says this. He says Steelers just have to get better at third down stops, and without the turnovers, that's what will make this team tough to compete against.
Stopping and converting third downs. They got to start creeping back up on third down conversions.
Absolutely,
they're middle of the pack. Right. Yeah, they're middle of the pack right now. Last I saw, it was 60 or they're 16th in third down conversions. They can get it up to 10-12 range. That's a couple more drives a game for the offense, and a couple more points, a couple less stops the defense have to worry about. So they got to figure that shit out.
Phil says let's see who knows this movie. Now, I'm not a movie guy. The movies that I know well. This might be more up Finch's area and Mike, so let's give it a shot. Phil Steele says, let's see who knows this awesome movie. The quote is, I got a weight problem. Can't wait to eat. I got a weight problem. Can't wait to eat.
Nutty Professor?
Nutty Professor?
I don't know.
Phil? Nutty Professor's Mike's guess. Finch is still working on a thought. Anything?
I cannot. Heavyweights, the football kids movie. I don't know, something like that.
Okay. Let us know. Christopher says I stand corrected. Corey Beaver says at Phil was that Remember the Titans, the big white guy. Also, Cody says Joey Porter Jr. needs those refs every game.
Right. He almost hit the over on our over under and defensive pass interference.
He did. He was very close.
He gets no leeway either. Like the receiver can be all over him. He swats the receiver hand away and he gets the flag.
Well,
Do you think
he
his
hasn't let up.
name has something to do with that?
Yes, and
He has the reputation.
Saying he gets no leeway. The guy's never let up a single, one touchdown in the first 2-3 seasons. I think he gets some leeway somewhere. I'm not saying he's not good, but is he really the perfect cornerback out there? I don't think that he is. So no. I think it goes both ways sometime with Peasy. Also, RB, what's up, brother? Always great seeing RB. He says, what not making a move tells me is Mike is a bad coach, and we know it. Always a playbook excuse for a rookie or a new addition. Every team can get guys ready fast. Not Mike takes at least 6 weeks. For the most part, he does. That's been something I've always wondered about the Steelers team. He'll make rookies wait a whole year before they get any playing time. I mean, for crying out loud, Roman Wilson's still trying to get on that football field. And he only made the mistake last week. So whatever the issue is, of course, the injury last year. But again, we're halfway through the football season. I don't think it was Juice, was it? No, it wasn't Juice. If it would have been Juice, it would have been the character Steele because he would have been the heavier guy. But I don't know. I don't think that was him. Okay, and then Phil says, no, Corey, keep guessing. Yinzer Joe says, what if the Steelers beat the Bills at home, lose to the Lions, and split with the Ravens and get 10 wins? How do we feel? I feel a little better because we do beat a good team.
Yep.
Beating a good top-tier team is going to make me feel more confident about this team. If we still just go out and get embarrassed and dominated like we do every time, again, not just these guys. It was Kansas City the last game of the year. That wasn't a great Kansas City team, Mike. Yes, they go to the Super Bowl. They didn't score over 31 points all season long. That's the best team? I don't think so. But again, they're still in that league, and they beat the shit out of us. Buffalo beat the shit out of us. Philadelphia, again, I think 2 years in a row, beat the shit out of us. Give me one win against the team in this tier. I feel better about my Steelers heading into the playoffs. Just one. But the more the merrier, I'd say. Right, guys?
Yeah. The more quality ones, the better.
Absolutely. We need at least something. Wins over, the Bears, the Dolphins, these teams that we generally beat. We need more. Obviously, guys, we see where we're at. So we do got to get better. We got to keep getting better. Cody says, how about we vote out that muff punt rule? That shit's dumb as fuck. Also, I do want to just take a moment to explain, guys. Some people don't understand, Mike, again, what happened with that the kickoff rule. What happened was this. Danny, I mean, here's the thing. Everyone knows that they were excited. Everybody knows that Danny, he was excited, Danny Smith. This is what happened. The penalty on the end of the last play on the scoring drive that we had, we chose to put the 15 yards on the kickoff. So what happens was this. We kicked the ball off from instead of the 35, the 50, which is a 15-yard penalty. Now, if you kick the ball out of bounds, the illegal procedure is a 25-yard penalty from where you kick the ball off. So generally, you kick the ball from the 35, it goes out of bounds, they get the ball at the 40. That's 25 yards. We kicked the ball off from the 50, went out of bounds, so 25 yards from the kickoff point was the 25-yard line. It was a hella smart, high IQ football play to the highest degree. I give all the props in the world to Danny Smith for even recognizing to do this. But this is what happened, guys. The 15 yards took them to the 50. They kicked the ball off out of bounds. So that was probably the best possible field position we could have possibly gave them in our favor. They get the ball 25 yards from the kickoff point. It goes out of bounds on illegal procedure. 25-yard line is their starting point. Genius. Again, genius. Not just a smart football play. Absolutely genius. I don't know how many people pick up on this, Mike. I'm sure some do, but I don't know how many people pick up on this and actually pull it off.
Because I forgot about that rule because I'm used to it goes out of bounds. You get the ball at the 40.
40, yeah.
Yeah, but that penalty was tacked on because I know if you kick it into the end zone and they down it, you get the ball with the 30 now, I believe. So yeah, kick it out of bounds. Smart play. And you kick it in bounds and they return it. there's a chance, something happens, they break it for a long gain, or they can go and get a touchdown.
Right.
So
Let your
smart,
defense win the
heady
game,
play.
right?
Yeah, smart, heady play right there, playing the field position battle.
Absolutely. So I wanted to clear that
I
up.
think all the chewing gum told Danny Smith what to do.
And I think, I mean, naturally, most people didn't really understand what was going on because it was a recent rule change. And again, it's special teams. Most people don't pay much attention. So I just wanted to throw that out there because I've seen people on social media not quite understanding what happened. That is what happened. So kudos to the special team. And that's why they showed him running up and down the field, chewing gum, arms swinging. It was a big event. Certainly you don't see it often in the NFL. This Corey says this. He says it's good to. It sounds so familiar. LOL. I know I've heard it in a movie, but it's right there. I can't get it. He says he's still trying to figure out the quote from Phil. Tortilla says Finch sipping gravy through a straw.
Have my wisdom teeth out. Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. Yeah.
It was a rough Thanksgiving. I do recall. Cody says I like the wisdom teeth drugs. Yeah, absolutely, man. Scott says refs are missing calls because of the money lines for gambling. I hope that's, what, there's a part of me that believes that too, and I hate thinking that. And that's
every season I feel that more and more, and it's not because there's more calls happening one way or the other. It just seems like the calls that do go one way that shouldn't are getting more and more egregious.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like that offsides call, it's just terrible, man. I mean, that's definitely the kind of call that influences somebody's prop bet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree. I'd say ever since Vegas jumped into bed with the NFL about 4 or 5 years ago, the games have certainly been getting different. This isn't the way the NFL always looked. And again, a lot of games every week come down to the last drive. I can't remember in my life that being the case at all through years and years and decades of watching football. Almost every game they throw a few in there where the Browns get beat by 2 touchdowns, but you can't go by that. Go by your mainstream games. These games are mostly dictated by what happens in the last 2 to 4 minutes of a football game. Again, I've never seen that, so I hate to admit it, but it doesn't feel right. Something don't feel right.
The ease of prop bets are what's making it tough too, because now it's not all about who wins, who loses, what the score is. It's about, in this next drive, is there going to be a touchdown? In the next drive, is this player going to make this type of play? When you have those individual prop bets going on all at the same time, and you're betting on every single aspect of the game, the outcome at the end doesn't really always have that much of effect on how much money people are making. And that's where it's getting insane, because it's so easy to make these bets because you're doing it from your phone during the game.
Right. Absolutely.
It's insane, and there are definitely referees that are taking advantage, and it's going to come out eventually.
Finishing up what Scott said, he says, I hate it. It doesn't take much to flip a game. It doesn't, because the football games it's a game of inches. You've heard that term, and it really is. It's enough to flip a game. That's not cool, in my opinion. He also follows up by saying, I would have liked to have seen the game against Green Bay before the offsides. Vegas says, wow, top 10 with 7 linemen. Cody says, come talk to me when Alex Highsmith is getting drug tested. Peyton Wilson should have got that. I agree. He performed better. For whatever reason they gave it to Alex. I think it was the 2 sacks that caught the attention.
Yeah, 2 sacks are sexy.
Yeah, 2 sacks is sexy. And Peyton Wilson looks like a psycho killer. So,
Yeah.
He
does.
Yeah, he does. Vegas, Phyllis still says Corey as Vegas Tortilla. They don't call him Highsmith because he's sober. That must be why he keeps getting. He got hurt last week too. He was hurt again. He was on the sideline holding something. I don't know what this guy. Tortilla says because of the roids. Bingo Winchester says how come there isn't gravy flavored potato chips? That might not be bad.
Maybe in some of the those weird countries like Canada, they have ketchup chips.
They're poutine chips. Scott says Steelers are just missing on a lot of plays, and that's execution, not talent. Steelers have enough offense to compete as long. I agree. I think we got plenty of talent. Matter of fact, I said at the beginning of the year, unless it's just all these guys who were once good comes together and they all of a sudden got old and don't know how to play anymore. I think we have ample talent. Look around the team or look around the league, Finch. I would be happy to take this team over a lot of other teams out there that don't have 30-plus-year-old players that are playing skill positions. This is a talented team.
Absolutely. Do you think the Jets wouldn't mind having a few of our players right now? You think the Browns wouldn't mind having a few of our players right now?
Yeah, I agree.
You
Just
saw
talking about straight talent and ability, yeah, they would.
Yeah, and you saw it last week against the Colts, man. They simplified the playbook, and guys were just executing their assignment.
And that's
So
the big thing
sometimes-
right there, execution, man.
Yeah.
Finally.
Sometimes you can't overcoach yourself. Every coach does that, or you outthink yourself and get guys in bad positions. But for the most part, man, guys were in the right spots and they were just executing on their assignment and trusting the guy next to them to do their job. No one was going out of their way to do hero ball bullshit. Like we saw the 2 weeks prior. It's just simple. Just do your job.
Chris
It didn't get
is
out.
saying this, Mike. He's saying Peyton Wilson is becoming the tight end eraser. He's super fast. He balled out against the Colts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like him and Jalen Ramsey, man. Like it's like they were teaming up. Wherever my guy Tyler Warren was, one of those two guys was there hitting him, and they erased him because he was having a pretty good rookie campaign up until this game, and it was his worst game of the year.
Bingo says 41 is my favorite player. Tortilla says that bingo, you can't capture the gravy taste in a chip. I guess maybe just start by dipping a chip in gravy. I could try that.
It's literally potatoes and gravy, right?
And it's literally just 3 weeks away till Thanksgiving. So I think we're gonna have people, whether it be us or on the board or whoever, somebody's gonna try that this year. I know.
We're gonna call it the Lays and Gravy. That's what we're calling it, Lays and Gravy, and we're gonna crush those.
Lays and Gravy.
We know enough people on this board who like to imbibe nature's high reserves that I'm sure they will make this on Thanksgiving and try it out for us.
I'm trying it
Make
out.
some homemade potato chips, put some gravy on them, deep fry them. Let's see what we get, boys.
You boys are coming over to the studio on Sunday. Maybe we should make that a thing, huh?
As long as Derpy leaves his shirt on, I'll try anything.
That's all I care about.
Guys, it is the
here.
official, unofficial halftime of the show. I do want to say this. Be sure to get your CBS pick'ems in before tonight. 8:15, the Thursday Night Football does kick off Week 10 in the NFL. The Las Vegas Raiders are traveling to the Mile High City to take on the Denver Broncos on this Thursday Night Football game, guys. If you haven't had a chance yet, get on and get your CBS pick'ems picked. If you aren't involved yet, Mike's going to put the link up on the terrible board. You could go and sign up. It takes under 30 seconds and it costs nothing. We have a bunch of the guys on the terrible board every week by week. It's not a competition. It's a lot of fun, guys. Get in, place your picks, see how you do. But one thing you don't want to do is forget to get at least your first game in by tonight. You don't want to lose on that one game. You don't want to lose by one game and say, shit, I didn't get my Thursday pick in. I know Derpy, again, I told him, I texted him, make sure you get your tiebreaker, and he never does. I don't know if he's just being difficult or what, but I told him again. But do get your picks in for the CBS Pick'ems again, starting tonight, guys. Week 10 in the NFL. Back on the board, I do want to say this to my main man from Texas is Gang Jamal from the Talking Trash Steeler Gang. Gang, what's up, brother? Always great to see you, Jamal, my man. Yinzer Joe says the Steelers defense has to figure out what they want to play and what player, where. Too much miscommunication and slow reaction time. Again, here's the thing, Joe. There's lots of problems, and you want to kind of see these things get better by week, and they do, and then they get worse, and then they get better. Which again, that's not a problem, but to the point to where it becomes a problem is a problem. I understand that life is tough and it's hard to be consistent in anything that you do. I mean, we know it here on the show, but just in life. So inconsistency is a natural thing, but I'd like to see just more improvement in general to where when we improve, we just become a better team because of it. That's kind of how I feel with what it is that you're saying. I mean, there are obvious issues, and these are the things that, again, any football fan would want their team to fix. And again, they fixed it Sunday. Or is it still going to be fixed this Sunday? This is why I have having a hard time jumping on this. Indianapolis was a big win. Let me see how they played this week, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the Indianapolis game, because it's hard to take the Steelers story a game at its value. It really is, because they're so Jekyll and Hyde. You could look like the shittiest team one week, look like the next best team next week. So as far as trying to figure out what it is that the Steelers are doing and what they are and what they have, it's going to take me quite a few games. I think it's unfair to try to base how you feel about the Steeler team off of one game, albeit a win or a loss. Vince, would you agree?
100%. I like the point you made about the Colts not being an elite team, but I would add that they were still a solid team and the Steelers took care of business. So that is definitely a positive thing.
And one point I do want to make where people say, well, you know what they are? They had a great record. They were 7-1. Wasn't the Steelers 13-0 or 10-0 or
Yeah, or 11-0 a few years ago. Right,
but
right,
the
exactly.
narrative around the Steelers was it was the most phony 11-0 of all time. Where the narrative around the Colts was, oh, this is a legit team. They're
a legit up and comer with
let's
this.
See how they follow through. Again, it's going to be
about the narrative, baby.
Exactly.
But you can't say that a team is 10-0 is a false team. That's 10 wins when everybody else lost to teams that they shouldn't have lost to.
I agree with you. I agree with you. But you know how it is with the media and fans.
Cody says this Broderick Jones should play defense. He can tackle quarterbacks all the time. We should put Broderick Jones on the defensive line. Cody, that is a game ball right off the top. 1:58 into the show. There goes my game ball to Cody.
I think we're going to need you and Cody drug tested.
Cody says this Broderick Jones should play on defense because he can tackle quarterbacks all the time. I haven't seen anybody tackle Aaron Rodgers the way that Broderick Jones was tackled. I would throw him at nose tackle. I'm just saying. Call me crazy. Bingo says this. Bingo says, I don't accept that. Tortilla, it's 2025 for F's sakes. Also, Vegas says Baskin Robbins on the West Sahara has chicken and waffles ice cream. I love chicken and waffles. And chicken and waffles ice cream might be interesting. Scott says this. Scott Atkins says Steelers have to take away the deep shots to the end zone by Quentin Johnson. The Chargers have to have that to beat the Steelers. Double that when they see it, and we'll be in. Listen to this, guys. Let me get you some information on these Chargers. You want to talk about how the Chargers are going to play against us and why I confidently think that we're going to beat the Chargers? Listen to this. Let me go right here. Justin Herbert, guys. Justin Herbert. He was sacked 6 times against Tennessee. Take it and just dissect what I just said. Tennessee sacked Herbert 6 times last week in the 27-20 win over the Titans. If Tennessee is getting to Herbert 6 times to keep the game that close, the Steelers should, in theory, be able to be all over Herbert. With that being said, prior to that, Herbert has been sacked 28 times, which is third most in the league, and hit 80 times, which is the most in the league. So if you're concerned about the Chargers, or if you're confident because this offensive line hasn't been doing anything for him, it's 100% true. Again, starting with last week alone, Tennessee sacks Herbert 6 times. Prior to that, 28 times on the season, which is third most, and 80 times he's been hit, which is the most in the NFL. I'm feeling more confident as I read these numbers again, Mike, because their strengths at one point are no longer their strengths. They're their liabilities as this offensive line is deteriorating. The starting 1 and 2 running backs gone to injury. Yeah. Lots of problems. Yes, Herbert can beat you. Yes, he did beat us the first time we played him a couple years back. But, Mike, what's going on with the Los Angeles Chargers? I feel that we are in very good shape to beat this particular football team, especially the state that they're in with injuries on offense.
See, now I'm getting worried because, we're getting like, oh, man, they gave up all these sacks. All these linemen are hurt. Now I'm starting to get in the picture in my mind of, like, whatever we do against them, they're going to have an answer for up front. Like they're going to erase all of our guys. They're going to erase Watt, Highsmith, Herbig. Clam's not going to have that performance again because we've seen this happen against, teams that have depleted offensive lines. Like, our guys just can't beat anyone up front, and then quarterback's able to sit there and pick us apart. I'm starting to get that feeling back in my mind, but I have a feeling this team's still fired up. Jalen Ramsey's speech, I think they're going to go out there and dominate the front. And to get back to the comment about Quentin Johnson beating us over the top, there's one way to stop that. Just let Jalen Ramsey tee off on him one time, take a 15-yard penalty, personal foul, set the fucking town.
What I think we really have an advantage. That
scrawny little kid will not be he will have alligator arms the rest of the day. Just let Jalen Ramsey jack him the fuck up one time.
A good advantage I do like that the Steelers have, Mike, is that their defense. Their running game is so depleted. You already are in a one-dimensional team. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Where you have to come out and say we have to stop that D. It's going to be we have to stop the run. You stop the run, then it changes everything. The run is not good right now. The run and literally the line is terrible. It's perforated. Yeah. It's Swiss cheese. And the running backs, they're starters 1 and 2. I mean, come on, this is the best talent you have on your team out of your backfield. They're hurt. I'm not worried about the running game. Therefore, it turns into a one-dimensional game for our defense. You could play that a lot differently, knowing that their run game is shit. And if they start to gain a little momentum and advantage by running the ball, you adjust. But, Mike, again, I'm very confident. And I'm going to tell you also one more thing to make you feel a little bit better about yourself. According to TickPick, not Dick Pick Finch, TickPick. TickPick saying that over 51% of tickets sold are coming from Steeler fans as of right now for the game in LA on Sunday night. 51%.
I think that's been common all year for the Chargers games at home. Yeah.
I expect it to be more. That by time game time comes
exactly.
Sunday at 8:20, I think it's going to be easily more than 51%.
Easily. I agree.
So there you go, guys. Some things to keep you a little bit motivated heading into this game. Let's get back to the board. Tortilla says bingo. Let's see, Scott. Scott says watch the rush lanes when you go after Herbert, so he can't get cheap first downs with his legs, in which he will, because he does. He gets that's one of the only weapons they have, Mike. He leads their league and leads their team in rushing, so he's going to find ways.
He's 9 yards back, 9 yards back, but yeah, he's up there. He has 300.
It's going to change this week.
It's going to change. It's going to change big. I don't know, man. Kamini Vidal has 309. Herbert has 305.
If your quarterback is keeping up like that, I think that he's your best runner. But hey, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I know.
Bingo says,
he's going to be dangerous. Like you said, you have to protect the rush lanes against him. And we were able to knock him out last year. Why do it again this year?
It was a close game. You know what? That defense, Mike, the Derwin James and the Khalil Mack, this was the conversation we had last year. It wasn't just Justin Herbert. We talked about how solid that defense was, Mike, and they're still out there.
They're still good. They're still I think a top 10 scoring defense, maybe top 7 in that range. But you can get, hey, when Herbert's running around, you grab his ankle and just keep rolling like a crocodile. I'm not saying roll his ankle, but if you roll around on a guy, you hurt him for a game.
Little wink.
Shit happens. You got to go old school, man. You're playing games.
Yes,
beat the fuck out of these guys.
Hey now.
This Chargers team, I'm sorry, like their receivers, I think we can bully them. Lad McConkey's a little honky. Knock him the fuck out.
Lad McConkey.
The honky donkey. Knock him out. Knock Quentin Johnson down a couple times. These guys are going to be afraid to go across the middle. Stuff to run. And then, when Herbert wants to go out running, take a couple shots on him. Take a personal foul. Set the tone. I've been drinking, so I'm ready to see people hit.
You're fine, Mike. We have a lot to get into, guys. Please stick around. Have a seat. We have a lot to get into today. I promise you. A lot of information scoop. I still have so much more here in my notes. Let's get back to the board. Bingo Winchester says this. There's a fine line between counting cards and just paying attention. Absolutely. Scott says this. I know this sounds crazy, but if the Steelers finish 13-4 with the win over the Bills, they will be hosting the AFC Championship game in Pittsburgh. It starts Sunday, and like we say, my man, there's no game bigger than the one that's right in front of you. I couldn't agree more with what you're saying, but it all starts this week. Get this win out in Los Angeles. Let's come home, figure out how to win this division game next week against the Bengals so we don't get swept for the season because, guys, realistically, we're going to be sitting at 7 wins here in a couple of weeks if things go in our favor, Mike. As we are sitting 5-3 right now, I think these are 2 totally winnable games, and I'm just focusing on the one right in front of me at the moment, but I agree with you 100%. You beat Buffalo. I think things start to really look nice for the Steeler team. And then consistency is going to be my only question at that point, because if you put it together, Mike, you can become Mr. Hyde long enough for Dr. Jekyll to win that game against Buffalo. You want to build off of that and be consistent off of that. Then you become a real threat in the league.
And then you beat the Chargers, like you said. You focus on this game, you beat them. That's a Justin Herbert, led team. Herbert, he's well regarded within the league as one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL, maybe top 7 in that range. So you can knock him out. Yeah, they may have injuries, but he can still beat you, man. They're 6-3. They're in the hunt. This is a good team. Start here. Beat these guys and then build upon that and keep going. Because if you beat them, you've knocked off 2 pretty good teams back-to-back weeks in the AFC.
I couldn't agree more. Tortilla says, waiting all day for the Sunday night game. Here we go. Jamal says, let's go. He says, I'm starting to get hyped. I am too. Thursday's right around the time I start to get hyped, guys. I start thinking football all day, every day, until the game starts. Scott says Aaron can beat Detroit. Detroit is an up and down team. I agree. Detroit is not. They don't look as invincible as they did ever since that playoff loss, their first game in the playoffs last year. I felt they dropped a notch, but again, when you're talking NFC, I still think they are one of a few elites. Philadelphia, of course, and maybe even maybe this Tampa Bay team might be working its way up the ladder as they continue to get strong with their franchise quarterback, which they obviously found, who was trash to a trash franchise. So.
Yeah.
Do what you want with that.
The thing with like Tampa, they're kind of like us. Every once in a while, they beat that team that's above them. Then they have terrible performances against teams out of that tier too, and then they lose one of those weird games throughout the year. They're on the cusp, but then they always make that step back.
I was just going to say exactly that, man. 2 steps forward and 1 step back. They never quite get there. At least not yet. You know, they have the tools in place.
It seems right now that I would give the 2 elite teams from the NFC. I would say Philadelphia and Detroit. And as I said, I don't think Detroit's as tough as they were, but I think they can certainly come out and put that ass whooping on you, putting up 40, 45, 50 points as they've shown to be able to do. So they're capable. If you become that team, you work your way up into the top tier.
And then the Lions tripping over their own dicks against the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah,
that totally puts
division game though. I mean, you got look where
it is a division game too.
Bengals.
Yeah, exactly.
Buffalo loses to the Patriots. The Eagles lose to the Giants this year. Kind of crazy. Kansas City loses to every team in the AFC West. I'm sorry.
It's a toss up this year as to
I don't know if they did, but they lost early.
Who's really really good and who's just in that nebulous group of good teams. It's every week one team looks really good, then the next week they're back down in that pool.
And this makes you wonder, like, is this the parity that the league is looking for?
Oh yeah.
So you got to put that into consideration as well. But
they've been fighting for parity for like 30 years. This is what they wanted.
But even with parity, as it is playing out, I still think, Mike, you still do have the tiers.
Oh, you still have, yeah.
You know what I mean?
But the thing with the parity is that every year, 1 or 2 teams moves up and moves down that tier. So you feel like, unless you're in Cleveland or you're a Jets fan or a Dolphins fan, you always feel like at the beginning of your season, your team has a legitimate shot.
Right.
That's the parity. You want every fan of every team to think in week 10, 11, and 12 that their team can still do it. And that's really what parity
Which is the huge problem in college football. You literally have 2 teams out of 1 million.
I know.
That literally feel that they have a legit chance of being in champions, and then every other hundreds of teams have no chance. I tell you what, if college could fix their game, they could. I think they could really compete with the NFL as their final product. But there's literally, if you get a fan,
there's too many teams too.
If you get diehards from this college that's never in it, if you get diehards from this college that's never in it, now they have a chance. Can you imagine how successful college football will be? It's been stale for 40 years in my life, and I'm glad they finally got away with the old bowl process, because again, you're not giving anybody, their team, a chance, which doesn't allow those fans to get excited, which doesn't allow the game to move to the next level. So again, what the NFL is doing is good. College, I think, could pass if they would play the game right, but they stay awfully stubborn in college.
Once they figure out how to equity do the NIL shit and maybe like the portal, like you're starting to see teams come up that haven't come up. Like I don't know, man. I think Pitt might be on the rise.
Well, this has been the same thing for the past 10 years with Pitt. I mean, it's ups and downs. Some years better than others. But the teams that get the best money and the best recruiting and the money for the best coaching and the best everything, they're going to win all the time. Ohio State is a good example of that. Yeah. And there's a handful of other teams. And again, 95% of other college teams in the country have no chance from the get-go. And again, I don't think that's good for the sport itself, because all those fans could be pumping their money and their interest and their effort into the product when they don't, because guess what? You don't even have a chance. So that could be a problem in the college ranks. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to say one last little bit there. It is nice to see Alabama fall back to the pack for the most part.
They'll be back in it.
Now that they can't grease the palms behind the screen, now that it's equitable for the most part, Alabama hasn't been what Alabama was.
Well, I mean, be fair. Give it another year. They'll be back. I haven't seen Alabama been down for more than 2 years at a time in my life. But any other team, like, again, literally has never had a chance ever in college. So let's go. Jamal says this is a different year. I think we could beat Buffalo. Just depends on what defense shows up. Corey follows it up by saying Buffalo isn't elite in my opinion right now. Either they lost some games that they would never have lost in previous seasons, so much lesser teams in convincing fashion. Again, it's going to take a little bit more for me because as I'm putting together my top tier teams in the AFC, I don't think anybody is above Buffalo. Albeit they haven't looked great, I still think pound for pound they were probably, if not the best, one of the couple best teams in the AFC. Until anybody could prove them wrong, battles are won and lost, but will this team be passed in the regular season? So far, that hasn't been the case. They'll probably go in as a high seed. Let's change that. Let's change the pace. Let's be the Steelers. Let's win games we're not supposed to win, and let's take that from them. That's the only way that these teams fall off. Jamal says, facts. Christopher says this: we play a lot of 4-3 with the active zone against the Colts with 2 high safeties. Love Ramsey at safety. Everyone's loving Ramsey at safety, Mike, and it looks like that's going to stick so far. As of right now, they're going to keep Ramsey at safety.
It sounds like, too, the quotes are coming out like going forward is what I saw. I saw a lot of like going forward, he's going to be safety, and I am on board with him doing the latter-day Rod Woodson, Darren Woodson type move of playing safety.
All right.
He can play strong and free safety.
Jamal says, yo, at Corey Beavers, what's your channel name? Also, Somber says, gang, Tortilla. I do want to say what's up to Somber, my man. Tortilla says, James Cook and Josh Allen ain't no easy task, though. That wide receiver number 10 could eat us up, too. We got a few more steps to take defensively before I feel confident in us. Jamal says, what up, Somber? Gang. Man, fuck Buffalo. He says, at Tortilla Jackson, we're on their ass when we play. I hope you're right, dude. Believe me. I hope I can come back and say, you know what? He hit that right on the head. I don't want to be right when it comes to that. Tortilla says, I sure as hell hope so. At Jamal says this: the phrase fluke has been tossed around regarding the Colts game. Hopefully our boys hear the noise and continue to attack on defense. Again, I agree. Some people are going to say they beat the best team. Other people are going to say that was a fluke game. So we have to continue to play good football. That's the only answer. You could argue, you could debate, you're blue in the face if this was a good game by us. The fact of the matter is the only answer, the only way to show an answer is to continue playing good football and make it worth it, and just put that in a group of teams that you beat as you made your run. Again, you can't one battle doesn't decide the war, so you got to keep winning the battles, and right now the Chargers are our battle. Phyllis still says same situation as last season. Good start, then it all crashed down. Will it happen again? Thanks to TJ Watt. We'll see, right, Mike? And again, that's a very good point. We are to that point of the season. You get those early wins early, as we talk about, are important, Mike. What you do next, what happens over these next 8 games is going to tell your story. Because whatever happens, if we fall apart, those games at the beginning of the year mean nothing. If we do great, you add that to the story. But these next 8 games are huge. Starts Sunday night, Mike. This, again, consistent winning, moving forward, doing the right things, and not falling off. Huge.
Yeah, hopefully TJ Watt can beat Bobby Hart or Terry Pipkins III. If he cannot, we're in a world of hurt.
Also, the names of the 2 worst pro wrestlers ever. Jesus.
Right? A bunch of jobbers.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're going to...
We do got to.
They're going to be the 1-2-3 kid, and TJ Watt's going to be Razor Ramon in the upset.
Right,
That's what's going to happen.
Well, there are a few other things. I mean, we could toss TJ under the bus, but guys, the 38 yards rushing
it's fun doing that, though.
The 38 yards we had rushing last week was the fewest on any team by a winning team this year, or 38 rushing yards that we had total last year. The fewest yards on any team in a win in 2025. So are we good? That's what I'm saying. We beat the number 1 team. Guys, we've literally rushed for less teams than any team that won any game this year. Always room for improvement. Always room for improvement.
Always,
Again,
yeah.
You don't want to take numbers like that into a game against Buffalo. That's why I'm saying you always got to keep improving and working toward more consistent play.
But on the flip side of that, they found a way to win. They made plays elsewhere.
Again,
to
you
pick
depend
up
on
the
you're
slack
right.
of that to win. So you can look at it either
could plan
but you do have to
for
run
things, and there are things that happen by chance and during the
Yeah.
course of a game. I can plan for this to work and my running game to play well and come up with a scheme, and there's a chance we could create turnovers.
Yeah.
So again, do you want to? How much do you want to rely on the chance? I want as much power as I can while planning, putting a game plan together. If those happen, it's great. It's a huge advantage. It works to your favor. You win, hooray! But you can't plan those things. You want them; they're great. But I like the things that I can control. And again, that's what the difference is, I think, between what happened last week, what happened in the New England game. Mike, you take all those turnovers away. We only won those games by a total of what, just a few points. So again, I want to see better play from my football team. Turnovers will happen. If they do, great. If they don't, you still don't want to lose because you didn't get turnovers.
Yeah. I think so. Like some of those turnovers against the Colts, man, those were like Peyton Wilson's interception was him breaking off his own because he recognized where the play was going. It was a heady play by the guy. Porter in great coverage. Another one was a great play on a blitz by Peyton Wilson. So a lot of it wasn't luck. It was like
how many times
guys
you see
doing their job, being
up
in the right spot.
Where was all those great moves and turnovers the two previous games is what I'm wondering. Again, you can't depend
poor execution.
You can't depend on turnovers to win games. They help. They're great if you could get them. But again, I would have loved to have one against the Cincinnati Bengals. Come on. The Bengals, they were the worst team in the league. The worst defense, the worst offense. Offensive line was shit. So again, this is what I'm saying. It's all about execution. It's all about game planning, scheming, and going out there and getting it done. We'll take turnovers anytime you want to give them, but you can't count on a turnover.
You can make the argument turnovers came from the game plan and the execution of the game plan by being in the right spot at the right time on some of those interceptions.
Well, of course. Of course they do, because that's a part of the game. And of course that they happen under any circumstance that is put out there. But okay, if you want to split hairs, you sleep with that. That's fine. I'm not going to lose sleep on that one. But Cody on the back on the board says this. Remember that time San Fran beat us like 50-6 with Kenny? It was bad. It wasn't that bad, but yes, I do remember. It was
very bad.
It was when I first learned about who's that idiot we wanted? Brandon
Ayuk.
That was when I first literally learned about Brandon Ayuk, was that particular game.
Like, I knew he was good. I didn't realize, damn, man, he was going to be that good against us.
Cody says this, hopefully with a shirt on, talking about Derpy, of course. We're all right there with you. Believe me.
He was with a shirt on, but pants might be optional.
That's what it was, Summers. 2003 is 30-7. Yes, it was the first game of the year. Very, very bad. Bingo says, what's that?
Told Finch he's got a Scotch guard his furniture. Derpy.
Yeah, right. Put the old grandma plastic on my couch.
All the flea medicine you're going to need. This is going to be
a rough one. I just have to give him a caller. Yeah.
Bingo says, I don't know, but I got some kind of bug if DK spreads this to the team. I don't know, but I got some kind of bug. If DK spreads this to the team, we'll just hope they're wearing black pants. That's all I'm going to say. So basically, Bingo's saying, just let them shit themselves out there. Get out there and play.
Exactly. Yeah, let some shit run down your leg, drink some Pedialyte on the sideline, and let's go.
These kids nowadays, like with the radio, I do football games, high school football games at work, and nowadays these kids are keeping mustard on the sideline for cramps, mustard to get their electrolytes. My question is this: don't they literally make a drink for this? This reason specifically, so kids could stay hydrated and get their electrolytes.
I believe it was invented in Florida by somebody with the Florida Gators. Something to aid you when you're dehydrated.
And it's not only mustard, Finch; it's pickle juice as well. These kids are keeping
pickle juice is an old one. My dad told me when he was a kid they would drink pickle juice.
I'm not debating that. I'm just saying, don't they kind of have something out there that actually tastes good for these kids?
Yeah, that doesn't taste like pure salt and cucumber ass. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Pickle juice and mustard.
Maybe they like the taste of cucumber ass, Finch. Don't kink shame these kids.
Fun fact, Derpy's nickname in high school was cucumber ass.
Bingo says this. No, we just got that. Haven't heard anything about Tomlin since the win. Well, I mean, we can. But I just think the people were shooting. Give us a week. That's all I'm going to say. Nothing against them. I know that you're due, but I'm just saying, give us a week. We'll be able to have that conversation that you're talking about again. I'm sure we will. Not this week it'll happen. No. Tortilla says, Kenny Pickett and Matt Canada made me a Republican. Cody says, why you bring up old shit? Why you bringing up old shit, man? Of course, from a famous movie there as well. Jamal says, I'm fine. I think I'm fine without making a move at the deadline. We can only blame Tomlin. Also follows that up by saying using a 4th and 5th for a rental is just plumb. I agree. unless you feel that we have a chance to win a Super Bowl this year. Then it's not so dumb. You know what I mean? If that one player could be the piece that you feel is keeping us from the Lombardi Trophy, then giving a late draft pick is then worth it. So again, we will see. How does this team do in the playoffs? Do we lose? We win a big game in the playoffs, and we lose the following round because of one guy at one position that we could have improved at the trade deadline. That'll be a debate that we'll have all off season, of course, if that does happen. Why are you bringing up old shit? Well, that was Friday, right? Yeah. Friday.
Yep.
Phyllis still says, yeah, Mike, don't blame the coaches too, right? Teflon Don and coaches do a great freaking job.
Hey, Steele, I blame the coaches all the time. The next time you blame TJ Water, the defense will be the first time, buddy.
Oh, man. Shots fired back. Christopher
Just
says
saying.
this. He says, I do not see a team
Hell
left
yeah,
on our
brother.
schedule we can't beat. I like that mindset. And you know what? As I look at this schedule, I don't feel too bad either. It's not the most difficult schedule. So hopefully we can fare well. Vegas says maybe Derpy is getting some nappy dugout. I highly doubt that. Cody says this.
Well, no one wants to picture that. Who said that?
That was Vegas.
Vegas, you're on top of the list for that one, bro.
Cody says this. The Colts beat all the easy teams. So does San Francisco. They have the number one easiest schedule in the NFL. That is something you have to consider as well, of course. Tortilla says, y'all ever figure out what our record is since the Derpy incident? I think we are 2-2.
Yeesh.
What that means, and that tells me that was good for nobody. What happened on that fateful Thursday was good for nobody. Jen
A
says,
day that will live in infamy.
Infamy. Two dumb Yinzers infamy.
Memory.
Jen says Steelers are winning out the rest of the games. Let's go. Somber says Chargers are top of the pack in third down conversions. Our defense is bottom. I think that's going to be one of the things that keeps things interesting. However, I think the injuries ultimately are going to do the Chargers in. I really do. They have come on. That's a lot of meat you lost, man. Your two offensive tackles, your two starting tackles, and both of your starting running backs. And again. House Party was the movie. That's exactly what it was. House Party.
But that line was in Friday too, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Man, why are you bringing up old shit? It was like
well,
he
no,
was talking.
I think he's talking about the weight. I have an eating problem.
Oh, the eating
weight
problem. Okay, yeah. House Party. Okay.
House Party with
That's
Kid and Play.
Kid and Play.
Yes. See, I was a little older. I didn't go back that far. Mike Williams, I do want to say welcome to the show. Great to have you on the board. He says House Party. He did nail that. Vegas says follow the drip. Cody Heavyweights. Field of Steel says Yo Balayos, which again he follows it up by saying what the hell is going on here. AAA, stop making all that damn noise. Mike Williams. It's interesting that name pops up on the board just
right. I was about to say
a year after the trade deadline, right?
He is retired.
He is retired. Maybe Neil O'Donnell could show up today again.
Mark Malone and Bubby
Malone, what do you
Mike
think?
Williams is hanging out with the two dumb Yinzers, man.
Mike says, what's the number to 9? Yes, what's the number to 911? Exactly. Chris says, DK and Janu need to spend an hour after every practice on the jug machines. MVS also has Butterfingers. Guys, let's talk about MVS here. Of course, let's get into this for just a minute. A little personnel information. Mike, MVS is all smiles. Of course, I'm talking about Juan Valdez. Marquez Valdez Scantling. He's all smiles to be back with Aaron Rodgers. Mike, apparently they did have really nice chemistry when they did play together. MVS practice squad. At what point Mike Williams last season, guy brought a trade deadline, any actions? Mike, are we going to see, and is he going to be of any significance talking about MVS, of course?
No, I've never been a fan of MVS. Never liked him. Not a fan. I didn't want him to come in here in the off season when they were talking about bringing him up. I'm just not a fan of MVS.
Nothing excited you about MVS, huh?
No, I've seen him draw too many passes in Green Bay, too many passes in his limited time that he had down in Kansas City. I just not a fan. Like, I hope he does well for the team, and I hope I'm wrong, and I hope I eat crow over it. It just doesn't move the needle for me. Just more of the same of what we got.
And at this point, Mike, I'm going to talk about the personnel situation we do have in Pittsburgh because, again, yesterday we were complaining because Asante Samuel Jr. was visiting other teams. Asante Samuel Jr. is scheduled to come to Pittsburgh, guys, amongst about 5 other teams around the league. Of course, this young cornerback that we would love to have, son of a former star in the league, Mike. He is going to be making the trek to Pittsburgh to work out. I think early next week is what I heard. So we'll continue to keep our eye on Asante Samuel, as I know people want him, Mike. He's in demand, and again, I guess we're in the race. We'll have him here. We'll work him out. We'll see if we like what we see. But
we can use him on the opposite side of JPJ, because if we're going to keep Ramsey back at corner, he'd be a nice addition to the outside. So that's anytime you hear spinal fusion,
it seems like enough teams are looking past that, though. You know what I mean? Guys get hurt. Yeah. And believe me, that sounds terrible. Whatever spinal fusion is, I don't know, and I don't like it. But,
it can be like a common little procedure that it's not going to affect his play or anything. But you hear the word spine in sports, you tend to take a beat.
And also, Mike, this is the midseason grades by CBS Sports. You want to hear how we're doing so far at the midseason point according to the rest of the AFC teams? Here we go. It's giving the Denver Broncos, the Colts, and the Patriots all A's. These are the other three division leading teams that they're putting out the illusion these are the elite teams, which they're not. But they do get your 3 A's because they are top of their division. B pluses, Mike. B pluses, the Chargers and the Steelers, the two very teams that face off on Sunday night. Steelers and Chargers in the AFC. B pluses. B is given to the Buffalo Bills. B minus to the Jacksonville Jaguars. C's to the Ravens and the Chiefs. The Ravens and the Chiefs, so far, according to CBS Sports, at the midseason grades, Chiefs and Ravens have C's. Houston Texans, they give a C.5. Now we're getting into what my report card looked like. The Browns, the Raiders, and the Dolphins, all with D's. To this point, D's nuts. Jinx, right? And then also,
you owe me a Duke.
Yeah, you a Duke. Grab a Duke. I got you. And then finally, the 3 F's. There are 3 F's, 6-letter in the alphabet. Crazy, 666. But anyway, there you go, Corey, with the conspiracy theories. The F's in the AFC, as we speak, are the Bengals, the Jets, and the Titans. Being the Titans, the last team in the AFC marked with an F. So again, this Titan team almost beat the whatever it is that the Chargers are, our competition this week nonetheless. So again, I like our chances. If the Titans could hang in there like that, Mike, I like our chances. Again, am I guaranteeing victory? I'm not. That's not a smart thing to do generally, but I really like our chances this week against LA. I think 6-3 is a very real possibility for us.
So do I. Do I think it's going to be an easy win? No.
No.
Think, 59, like 51
heart attacks,
chance of a win.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a tight game. I think both teams are evenly. It's going to be an even matchup. So I just think it's going to be a toss up, but we should win more of the coin flips than not.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Mike, also, let's get back to the board for just a moment, because I do want to get into I have to get into the injury list as it was put up yesterday. A couple of names surprised me. Let me get a couple more, a couple messages out of the way before I do that. Tortilla says this to Mike Williams on the terrible board. He says, "Yo, Mike Williams, why'd you retire?" And then Mike catches up with him here in a couple, but let me catch up here on the board as well. Phyllis still says, "Man, they still out there dancing. Come to bed, Harry. Come to bed." Vegas says, "I'd love to see Derpy and Vanilla do the kid and play dance. Mike, we could do this. I'll teach you the kid and play dance with the feet and the come on, man. We're doing it Sunday night. Do not miss Sunday night, guys."
It's been so long since I watched the house party movies. I can't remember the kid and play. I don't have the hair for it, man.
You got the hair like play. You don't got hair like kid, but
yeah, but I want to be kid, man. Actually, you got the complexion to play kid.
Yeah, I know. Kid was as light as I am. I'm blacker than kid. All right. Here is Mike. Here is the response. Oh no, right here. I'm sorry. Scott says this: "Screw 10-7. They need me in their faces. The team can win more than that, and should with Aaron." I agree. Listen, Scott, I got your back, man. Get in there. Christopher says too many drop passes. That's got to slow down again. Of course, Metcalf wasn't feeling well, Mike. He did have 6 yards last week, which you don't ever want to see from your number one receiver ever, like in the history of ever. But Mike, this is one thing that DK was. He did say. He says we're just trying to win. He says he's not concerned about lack of targets. Yep. He's not concerned about being this, having these accolades. DK Metcalf, Mike, for a superstar, his whole life in the league, to be at that humble point of his career to where he's saying, you know what, it's not about targets, it's about winning. Get the ball to whoever it's going to take. I love that. I love that answer from DK Metcalf. Again, I want him to have way more than 6 yards from here on out. But for him as a one, being a superstar his whole life, to have that mentality at this point, I think bodes well for our Steelers.
Yeah, I like that mentality of, hey, whatever we have to do, as long as we're winning, I'm cool. I'm okay with that attitude. And, he wants to do more. He's a competitor. And he's the top 15 receiver in the league. He wants to play like it. But, he understands, hey, if teams are going to double team me, I only get 1 or 2 catches a game. As long as we're winning, I'll play my role. And that's what you want from a superstar, just to play your role. Because eventually you're going to get those plays. You're going to get your touchdowns. You're going to get your yardage. It will come to you eventually. Because once that ball starts getting spread elsewhere, teams are going to start going that way. And guess who's open again? You are. You get the favorable matchups now. And that's what we're kind of seeing on the Steelers offense. Every week it feels like someone is getting that favorable matchup, and that's who Aaron is going to.
Tortilla says
that's the way it's working.
You really played good with us last year at Mike Williams. Mike Williams, obviously on the board says wrong Mike, which we figured, but it was fun. Tortilla follows it up by saying, help us against the Chargers. What plays they running, Mike Williams?
We need answers, bro.
Phil Steele says movie is House Party, of course. Cody said I was talking about Brandon Echols picking up the ball and running it and calling it dead ball. I hate that play. If it's a fumble, even on special teams, even on punts, I think that you should be able to move the ball forward. I think that's so stupid. Why not? Why is it dead at that point? Especially on a punt. On a punt.
Like, I get it. Like, when the defending team comes down, hits the ball, then another guy's trying to advance it. Like, oh, we're down it in here. I get that. But this is an offensive player playing the ball. He wants to make a ball. That should be ruled as a fumble, and you're able to advance the ball on defense.
I agree.
If they're able to advance it on offense, you should be able to advance it on defense. I just don't like that rule, but it's the rule, and we had to live with it. And we were able to get points out of it.
Cody says house party, haha. I like class act better. Yes. Mike Williams says quick outs and slants. Vegas says Echols could have accidentally bobbled the ball all the way into the end zone for that purpose, which again, it almost kind of started to look like it was if he would have continued to bobble the ball and just ended up in the end zone. Where do you mark that one at, right?
From the initial contact.
Well, obviously I know that, but it was a kind of a tongue-in-cheek response.
Oh my God, I totally missed. I apologize. No, it was good. I'm a dumbass. No,
hey, you know what's going to make you look even smarter? Let us get back to the board. That's going to be great, and we'll just act like it never happened. We'll sweep it under the rug, if you will. Just teasing you, brother.
Hell yeah, brother.
Scott says this: I'm bringing positivity today, and there's no more raining on my parade. I suffered through the 80s with Malone, Brister, and watching the Browns actually be good. Scott, I'm right there with you, brother. That you know what, Mike, that's going to be right up there on the game ball list as well. That one hit home. I felt that.
Me too. And I used to live and die with every game, and it got to the point where I was hating watching football. Now it's like I'm just one game at a time. We win, cool. We lose, I'm going to sulk and then move on. I can't be angry anymore about sports. Otherwise, I'm going to die here on air, which I know Ryan wants to happen.
If it happens, we'll take it. Vegas says this.
Imagine the views.
That's what I'm saying. Vegas says this. How the fuck did they miss that call and nothing could be done about it? This is the Dante Jackson revenge game. Or Dante Jackson.
I forgot.
Is he out there?
Yeah, he's out there.
Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't even realize that. Tortilla says, the Dante Jackson revenge game. Vegas says every sports league hated Vegas. Now they all love us. Corey says it became blatantly obvious that the refs were biased with the Saints-Rams championship game. Right? That push off, whatever that was down on the sideline.
The Saints deserve that because they got, in that same year, Joe Hayden got called for a pass interference when he picked the ball off and he didn't touch the receiver.
Oh, that's right.
The Saints.
It was almost identical.
They got what they.
It was in the end zone, if I'm not mistaken, right?
It was. Because that would have sealed the win. Juju and Freiermuth fumbled so many times in that game to fuck us over. Joe Hayden got robbed. The Saints deserve that shit. I never felt any pity for him.
Corey's saying that the Saints would have went to the Super Bowl and New England's defense would have been embarrassed, is what was being said. But it was definitely a bad call. Vegas says this: Lay's has biscuits and gravy chips. They do it, and I love them.
I'm going to the store right now.
Fries and gravy chips too. Mike Williams says the Jets would love our backups. You know what? They have our backups.
Yeah, right.
Well, look how that's working out. Cody says both of these teams could have all of our players and still go 1-16. I agree. It's just the organization, guys. Again, how many ones, Mike? 2 1s and 2 2s next year the Jets get in the draft. Let's see if the Jets become a competitive team all of a sudden. I highly doubt it.
Like the thing is, like, you know, you look at their past couple drafts where they had multiple picks, they hit on the guys. It's, they can't build a team around them or find a quarterback or a good coach.
Vegas says this. Corey Beaver said the ref said he thought that the ball was tipped. Vegas follows it up by saying Sunday shot and smoke party. Cody, they're talking to you. Jamal. Corey says, I'm ready to be two-time Pick'em's champion. Q Booker theme. Yes, of course. 5 times, right? Old WCW reference. And Finch and Derp, who is it? Finch, Mike, you and Derpy are tied. I'm thinking in the overalls.
We are tied. I should have a game lead, but you know, because Derpy was changing his picks.
That's right. That's right.
On the show and on the board. Yep.
Vegas says 4-3 with 3 pounds was played a few downs versus the Colts. I don't remember that happening too often. Vegas also says Vince called Booker T. He did. He called Booker T my ninja, if you will. He sure did. I could remember. That was a bit controversial. Ralph, what's up, dude? Always great seeing Ralph. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Ralph says the Steelers have done nothing. Corey says, I'm with you on consistency, Ryan, but when you make millions to perfect your craft and be consistent week after week, you have no fucking up reasons to be taking 4 days rest a month, giving up 400 yards per game. Guys, with that being said, let's jump over to the injury list as we speak, guys. This is as of yesterday's practices. Scotty Miller did not practice again with his finger. Will Howard, he had full practice with his right hand. Chuck Clark, full practice. Of course, Chucky Clark was he was out last week with an illness, and they do expect Chuck Clark to be back in the secondary this week. And I don't know if that's making people excited or not, but there it is. Corey Trice Jr. did not with his hamstring/knee practice yesterday. Jabril Peppers did not practice yesterday with his quad. Cole Holcomb did not practice yesterday again with still being sick. Alex Highsmith did not practice yesterday with his ankle. Isaac Siamalu did not practice yesterday with his pec. Darnell Washington did not practice yesterday with a foot. And finally, Jonnu Smith did not practice yesterday due to resting veteran reasons, guys. That is what the Steelers injury report looks like as we speak, heading into the weekend. They just practiced today. We don't have the up-to-date information, but the latest information that I do have is that. And then also, guys, in San Diego, LA, the Chargers guys that are having injury issues. Keenan Allen, guys, he was out with a rest day yesterday at his practice. Deshaun Hand, the defensive end, he has a groin. Josh Harris, the long snapper, a chest. Bobby Hart, of course, we talked to him earlier with the knee ankle. Tony Jefferson, a hamstring. Leonard out with the knee. The corner, Khalil Mack, Mike, he was out with a rest day. And then also Terheeb Steele out, the cornerback, with the knee. So that was injury information, again, all the way up through yesterday. What has happened today at practice or is happening is still out there. Mike, the Darnell Washington foot. Do you know anything more about the injury?
I do not know. I haven't heard anything. I haven't seen anything. It just popped up out of nowhere.
I agree.
Reporters were shocked and surprised too.
What about Highsmith's groin? Come on, what's going to go on with this Highsmith, his injuries? I mean, he's lucky he makes plays when he comes in for the short periods of time that he's not hurt, because if not, he's Corey Trice if he doesn't make those couple plays, right?
Yeah. He's right now. He's a major liability not being out there. But the Darnell Washington one, that one's concerning for me because they need him. The way they've been featuring him the past couple weeks, he's becoming a favorite of Aaron Rodgers, and you know he's a hard guy to cover. They need him.
Vegas says Brojo needs to use his hands better. The all-22 tape is ugly too often. Corey says this: Brojo decoyed as his blindside blocker, and then got a QB hit on the stat sheet from that. His blindside. Cody says Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles has the best Kool-Aid. Come in mason jar and everything. Sounds awesome, man. Derpy, there's that sumbitch. Look, here's Derpy on the board, guys. Derpy says I'm scared Vanilla is wearing a hoodie. Looks like he's trying to steal my soul.
I will eat your soul. Hell yeah, brother.
Cody says Herbert throws the ball too much. Someone is going to have a few interceptions. Tortilla says at Derpy, what are you wearing right now? Please, please, Tortilla.
Oh God,
Tortilla, please. Corey says, our D won't get a sack, and after the game, our Art won't get a sack, and after the game, Brojo's going to be like, it was pretty easy for me. I got 3. Oh, I see what you're saying. The defense wouldn't get a sack, and then Brojo would say that. Bingo says this, I would spy with Wilson all game. That's the thing, Mike. Peyton Wilson could be very, very valuable to this defense. If they figured out what he would be the best at doing, he's one of these guys. He's everywhere, man. He kind of came out of nowhere. He's this great college linebacker. I'm glad we got him. He's just like pre-draft, he was talked about being like a steal at the draft, and we got him. Yeah,
and I was surprised he was there when we got him. I was like, hell yeah. Like Luke Kuechly loved him when he was coming out.
Luke Kuechly, he's one that you could listen to. He's been there, done that.
Yep.
As far as being a white guy and playing a linebacker position, talking about the epitome of success. Come on, Luke Kuechly did a great job. Cody says this: Herbert is on the fringe of getting injured again. And that would be perfect for us because I know one year he was also injured as well, or got injured, and we didn't have to face him the whole game. I would like to not have to face Herbert if we don't have to, but we do. I think we get to still. Bingo says Winchester. He says, I've been to Roscoe's at Corey. Vegas says, will this be the week they score more than 7 points in the first quarter? I doubt it. I highly doubt it. What do you guys think? Because the Chargers got a good defense.
They have really good defense.
Yinzer Joe says, Oronde Gadsden was a wide receiver converted to tight end. The Steelers need eyes on that guy like they did on Warren from Indy. Corey says this, no, some stakes Tomlin can't break. It's a trade-off ritual for having endless winning seasons. Thursday night football skid is one trade-off. Vegas says counting cards is not illegal, but if you're winning, you will get 86th as they politely tell you that you are too good for them. Tortilla says 7 points, shit, 33-30. Ball's last second field goal. It's going to be a heart attack. But I still think we get the win.
And all 33 points will be from Boz's leg.
Yeah.
It'll be 11 drives, 11 field goals.
A win is a win.
Vegas says Corey Beavers. That sounds like a fact. The streak is going to go up to like 58. Like, what the fuck? Mark Malone says, I'm starting to get high.
Do you want to get high?
Do you have 5 on it? Also, Scott says the Patriots can lose Sunday at Tampa. That's right. We're going to be rooting for Tampa Bay in that particular game. We'll be getting ready to do the picks here in just a couple minutes. I'm going to try to get caught up on the board. I have a few more talking points, and then we are going to get our picks in for the day. Corey says at Vegas, I don't because the universe F's me like a tariff when I bet money on anything. A free bet is the best bet for me. I laugh my ass off. Cody says, so the Lions lost to the Packers and the Vikings. Are they winning their division? I'm not sure. I'm not really in the know what's going on in the NFC North, but if that would be what it looked like, I'm not sure.
And Green Bay is 5-2-1. Detroit 5-3. The Bears 5-3. So it's a tight race, man.
Where's Minnesota at? What do they got?
They're 4-4.
Yeah,
it's the AFC North of last year.
Cody says Penn State fans with a bunch of laughy faces.
On the list, Cody. On the list.
Vegas says this: I'm recruiting a kid against Penn State. I'm 100% bringing up the Sandusky bullshit. Vegas says, you want your son to get raped to get graped, Mom? Follows that up by saying one battle doesn't decide the war. Tell that to Japan. You know what? Wow. I guess that would be the exception, right? That would certainly be the exception on that. Cody says we're supposed to be a unit. Suck my unit. Tortilla says, anyone here know Japanese?
Huh?
I think Japanese is
Konnichiwa.
now hold on, they got Japanese. Sun, I think is 3 in Japanese. I think. Ichi is 1. Ni is 2. Sun is 3, and I think Chi is 4. I think, if I'm remembering right. I kind of know a little bit about Japanese.
All I have to say is, what do you mean, you people?
Who said you people?
No, going back to the quote before the Japan thing.
Let me rewind. I
We're
lost.
supposed to be a unit.
We're supposed to be a unit. Suck my unit. What are you talking about? You
What
people.
do you mean, you people? It's from a movie. I'm quoting from the scene.
Oh, okay.
Someone will pick it up.
Jamal says if we win, defensive line shows up and shows out. We win the game. Also, he says Cowabunga. Bingo says I just read it. I can't speak it. Tortilla probably get about Japanese. Vegas. So does the W not count now? Stats are for losers. Cody says that's sorry considering Isaac Siamalo and Darnell Washington are injured. Tortilla. Bingo. Fuck it. That works. Yeah, D. Washington is injured. I don't know how, dude. I don't know how, Jamal. Yinzer Joe says, I don't understand how beating the top-ranked offense in Indy and creating a 5-sack, 6-turnover game is considered fluky, because those kind of things
don't normally happen.
Are you being serious? I'm just asking.
That's like the definition of a fluke.
Right. That's
the
what
Steelers are a good team, and they're definitely capable of doing that, but to just go ham like that after not doing anything on defense for 3 weeks.
Right. You have to.
It is kind of fluky.
It certainly
comes off as fluky.
It comes off as fluky. So
next week, if we do the same thing, then it's a trend.
And again, it could be seen a couple different ways, I guess. So
sure.
Yours is respected. Vegas says Mount Washington hurt his foot. Jamal says, damn, how bad is it? Vegas says some of those defensive calls in the 49ers game suck too. Pat P was way off the line with no chance to do anything. Pat P, what an experiment that was. Patrick Peterson.
Ooh, that was a rough one.
Jamal says this. He says that's probably why we quit going to him. Vegas says pickle juice if they can't afford Gatorade. Hey, I guess. I think it would be more difficult to find enough pickle juice to provide a whole football team than it would be just to go grab a half a case of Gatorade. But that's just me. Grab the mustard. I don't know who has enough mustard sitting around to give to 53 kids if they're dehydrating. Jamal says this. He says that's probably why we're going to. Okay, got that one already. He follows that up by saying, laugh my ass off at Finch. Bingo says, I guess telling Mount Washington to not put weight on it is out of the question. Dude takes a deep breath and gains 10 pounds. Good stuff there. Tortilla says DK makes a sideline catch and shits on the San Diego or the Chargers sideline. I'd like to see that. I would like to see somebody shit themselves, Mike. It's been since probably Joe Paterno running across the field, shitting himself.
I think, Lamar Jackson came close.
Did he shit himself?
Oh, yeah, a couple seasons ago on the sideline. He ran to the side like 30 seconds before halftime or something.
Okay.
And then they asked him about it, and he admitted it.
Vegas says that's the worst nickname ever, ahead of the Muscle Hamster.
I love Muscle Hamster. It's a great nickname.
Muscle Hamster.
Jen says, Finch, how do you know what cucumber ass tastes like?
I've spent a lot of time.
That is a very good question.
You spent a lot of time where?
At the spa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pickle juice is the bomb. This is what Jamal is saying. Chad, what's up, dude? Great seeing you back on the terrible board. Chad Schrader says, what's up, Yinzer fam? I was pretending I didn't hear anything about the cucumber ass. LOL. I was too. Believe me. If it wouldn't have been brought up right now, I would have never brought it up ever again.
Oh, derpy.
Christopher says Gatorade is being made in Texas now. It was a Florida Gators invention. Tortilla says I saw a meme that said every time MVS wears number 11, his team won a Super Bowl. I don't know if that's true. I like that. Corey says I bet they move MVS to the active roster today. We have a couple of receivers banged up. Vegas says these nuts will always be funny, just like what's up.
Right. Both of those things never get old.
I agree.
Always funny.
What's up, Color Haas, my man? Also, let's see, we got Hugless Dawn. Hugless Dawn, I do want to say welcome to the Terrible Board. Great to have you. He says Steelers beat both Pats and the Colts. They sure did. They needed a lot of turnovers to get those close wins, too. Just want to keep that in mind. Also, Jamal says Rio, the great John Witherspoon. Rest in peace to the great John Witherspoon. Corey, if a kickoff can be picked up by the kicking team for the landing in the landing zone, then a muff punt return for a touchdown makes more sense than that. I agree. Yinzer Joe, how come the Seattle game, Johnson fumble and Seattle got the score then? Because it was actually in the end zone. That was the difference, because Caleb was in the end zone, and it just played out that way. Field of Steel says, R.I.P. Baby's kids, Pops Robin Harris. Christopher says, don't you think it's strange that New York does not chime in and overturn bad calls from? I do. I don't like that. If they're going to chime in on, people are always going to argue the timing. It's going to take too much time out of the game. It's going to, but no, come on.
No,
this is what these guys do. They're sitting up there watching 15 screens.
If we can watch the replay on TV in the time it takes to get to the next play, literally less than 25 seconds, then the guys in New York can do the same thing and make a call.
Yeah, I agree.
It's going to take 5 extra seconds, not 5 extra minutes. It's not the old replay system. It's, you know what I mean? Like it used to be, you know what I mean?
And I also do think Finch, I don't know if they wanted to be, they want to kind of give the referees the authority. So, they're basing things off of the referees are going to do. Them. Yes. They're going on the referees are going to make the best possible call they could possibly make. So I think by not undermining them, I think it's probably a part of it as well.
Can I just give you a little bit of pushback to that? This year, the Major League Baseball introduced the rule with the strike zone and the robot strike zone.
Yeah.
It came out really great. And the way it worked was there would be a challenge. So you would challenge the strike or the ball. Okay. Coaches should be able to challenge a non-call. I know we had that a couple years ago with the PIs. Remember, it kind of held things up. I think we can get around that, though. I think there should be certain calls that should be allowed to be challenged, even if it's not an actual play defining thing, like the offsides non-call, stuff like that. You know what I mean? They can find a way to do it. The tech is there. It's just a matter of everybody getting together and finding the best way to use the tech to make it work. And they can do it without undermining referees. If a referee looks up at the screen and sees that he blew a call, he should be a professional enough to know that he blew that call.
And that's the thing about baseball. Them guys are the most arrogant.
They're the worst. And that's why they keep doing this. That's why you're seeing these robot umpires now and using that system. It doesn't undermine the umpire. And when the ump looks up at the screen and he says, okay, you're right, that one was in the inside corner, it should have been a strike. I would hope that the umps are professional enough. Most of them aren't, but I would hope that they would be professional enough to accept the fact that, hey, you made a mistake.
And I agree. And I didn't pay close enough attention to how that worked out in baseball. That's why I asked. But again, those umpires in baseball are so fucking arrogant. It ain't even funny.
And that's why that whole thing started going the way it was, because it was so bad. And I think there was a lot of gambling involved with the probably worse in that league than any of them with officials, to be fair.
More than likely, guys.
More than likely.
Tortillo, he says, punt has to be touched. Punt has to be touched, right? Of course, in the kickoff, obviously, it doesn't have to be touched now. He says this punt has to be touched. A kickoff doesn't need to be touched past 10 yards on kickoffs, for example. Ball landed in the end zone against Seattle, though I'd argue they never had possession of the ball. But still, it's on the kickoff, though. If nobody touches that ball, that's a live ball. I think is the difference on that one.
That's right.
Scott Atkins says this: Tomlin's has to show us that that he can say these players have our attention and shut some of them down. I have hated when he has said that, and all those players killed the Steelers. Phil the Steel says, imagine the real kings of comedy: Bernie Mac, Robin Harris, Cat Williams, and Chris Rock. That would have been money, man. Absolutely. Yes, Cat Williams, Chris Rock. Scott says this: I like that they stopped Warren and Taylor, so I have hope. Absolutely. I mean, the past 2 weeks, the premier running backs, guys, have been stopped out of the backfield, and the tight ends, Mike. Again, of course, Warren having the least of his productive game so far this year. Tyler Warren last week against the Steelers. So those are encouraging things, talking about covering tight ends and running backs and making that work. So I'm beginning to get a little bit more confident in that as well. But again, we have to see more, right?
You need to see a whole hell of a lot more.
Phil the Steel says, Harris. Kenneth Jones says, what's up, dude? Always great seeing Kenneth on the terrible board. Kenneth Jones. Cody says, that's a big-ass ankle. I kind of feel sorry for his ankles, talking about the big guy, Mount Washington. I imagine having to stay off of that ankle for sure. Vegas was the Japan comment too soon. Vegas says Tropic Thunder. Cody, Tropic Thunder. Christophus and Glorious Bastards. Cody says this, Vanilla Thunder's cousin. Thunder's cousin. Tropic Thunder. Vanilla.
Hell yeah, brother. Tropic Thunder, great movie.
Corey says we got Pat P 2.0 and Slay, no difference. I am afraid it's starting to look more and more like that, unfortunately. Cody also says pass the ball to whoever Dante Jackson is covering. He sucks. Vegas says the muscle hamster died recently. Tortilla, the Steelers defense plays like the Flint Tropics before they got Woody Harrelson.
That's a good movie.
Tortilla. I'm sorry, that was Tortilla. Corey says this. Darnell takes a deep breath and I get lightheaded. RC Single Cell would go nuts around him. Ryan Clark, of course.
That's a deep rip there. I like that.
And then also Jamal says, that's what she said. That one never gets old. Mike, I know that you still like that one. I hear you say
like
that every
one,
once in a while.
That's what she said. It still gets a laugh to this day.
Well, you laugh. Usually people give you that. They usually give you that look like we just say that. Is he still saying that?
Fuck yeah. Hey, never goes out of style, baby.
Aaron Rodgers. Just two more things I'm going to get into. We're going to get into the picks of the day, guys, as we were rounding third. Aaron Rodgers on handling receivers who want more targets. I thought it was the Illuminati. Yesterday I said you have to work up the pyramid to get in Aaron Rodgers' favor. But, guys, this is what Aaron Rodgers said on handling receivers who want more targets. If somebody wants more targets, I welcome the conversation. But I usually say, let's watch film. Let's watch it together. Let's see and let's talk football. I love doing that. I think that's what the young players learn, where they learn is at practice. Practice is very important. And when you show it from week to week in practice, it gives a quarterback a lot of confidence to come your way. So again, Mike, it's basically just short of being in the being a Freemason. You got to show Aaron Rodgers a lot of different things if you want him to throw the pass to you. So it's basically telling me there's about one person in practice. It's like literally practicing well all the time. Again, Aaron Rodgers' explanation on how he decides who's going to be getting more passes. And also the last comment I do want to make about Mr. AR8, our starting quarterback, Mike, he says this, wide receiver trade noise was outside talk. He says that was not really even a topic, a big thing for the Steelers, certainly in the locker room. He says all that trade noise that we've been talking about, the wide receivers, wide receiver 2. Why would we want a wide receiver 2? We're only going on 2 years. But anyway, that's besides the point. Aaron Rodgers says that was all outside talk. They have no interest in any more wide receivers while he brings in MBS. But what do I know?
Aaron, yeah. Outside noise for the locker room. I guarantee you the front office was trying to find something that would be agreeable to what they wanted to spend to make the team better.
Christopher says I would switch. Yeah, Chris Tucker could be in there too. I would put Chris Tucker in there. The old Chris Tucker. I don't know if he's funny anymore. Also, Vegas says, I still mess with people by telling them that they dropped something. I got the same lady 3 times. Or what was the one where you always point to say you got something on your shirt and then you
do their face? Them up.
That always made me want to punch somebody right in the face when I was a kid.
At work with the people I work with, we like to play the circle game.
Yeah.
That thing. And we don't hit each other or anything. It's more of just like we laugh when we do it, but it's a hit. It's a lot of fun. It never gets old.
Or what about when you're a kid and you always had that one asshole on the first day that would always come up and step on all the kids' new shoes?
Yeah.
Remember that, dude?
They would always track the kid that had the nice white athletic shoes.
Yeah.
And they would just go over and just scuff them all up.
Like, hey, nice shoes. Step right on them motherfuckers.
Yep.
I wonder what that kid's doing. I bet he's dead or in prison or some shit.
He probably nicknamed himself Vanilla Thunder and stars in a podcast 5 days a week.
First of all, I did not nickname myself Vanilla Thunder. That was bestowed upon me.
Who called you that?
People at work, man. They started out calling me Vanilla Thunder. and then it went to Big.
I thought it was Big Stinky or something like that. Oh, Big Sexy.
Sexy. Big
Stinky. Big Sexy.
Big
Okay.
Sexy.
Vegas says Steve Harvey isn't funny. I would agree.
He's hilarious on Family Feud. I love him on Family Feud.
He's good on Family Feud. I just don't know if he's hilarious. I don't know. Does he make me laugh?
He makes me laugh when I watch that show. Yeah. No, I've watched his stand-up since the only stand-up ever
does one thing, Finch. He does that thing with his face. Where he looks at the camera.
It gets me every time. Works every time. Hey, Harrison Ford did that smirk for 50 years on camera, and that's what got him most of his roles. That little thing that he does. So I mean, yeah, what you can say?
Okay, fair enough. Who might have say what makes you laugh? Vegas says Steve Harvey isn't funny. Corey says you dropped your pocket.
Yeah, that's
it's amazing how often that worked. Yeah.
Or your elbow. Dropped your elbow.
That kid is homeless. Vegas says we used to play open chess. That was great. Socking the fuck out of your friends.
Walking around school like this all the time between class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tortilla says Steve has been hiding since Cat Williams called him out. Don't get me wrong. I like Steve Harvey. He don't make me laugh like these other guys, like Cat Williams and Chris Tucker, and I forget who else was even mentioned. Chris Rock. Come on.
Yeah.
Guys, it's time to get into it. Let's get these picks in. Derpy he sends me this message, says I'm going to send them to you. He even pops up on the board. Not here today. I still haven't received any messages from Derpy, so he's
just waiting for me to make my picks.
Well, here's the thing: he's going to be eliminated. I'm going to eliminate him. Absolutely, with quarters on your elbow, and you have to catch that shit real quick, Somber. If that's what you're talking about, I remember that. But you know what? If Derpy doesn't send me something in the next 30 seconds, I'm eliminating him for another week, Mike. Because again, I had to eliminate him a couple weeks ago for just not going by the rules. So, guys, let's get into this week's picks as we start to get ready to wrap up the show for this Thursday installment. Let me pull up my schedule. We'll blow through these and we'll get the hell out of here. Get ready for some Thursday night football again. Hopefully, maybe the Raiders could pull an upset and help us in the overall AFC playoff picture tonight, Mike, if they beat the Denver Broncos.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
I don't think it's going to happen.
They're really bad. And then they started selling all, and they sold too at the trade deadline. It's not looking good for them. Guys, let's get to it. Finch, Mike, time to get our picks in. Let's go. Let's do it. Tonight, the Raiders at the Broncos. Finch, I'm going to start with you. Raiders at Broncos. Who do you like?
Got to give it to the Broncos, man. Bo knows.
All right. Phyllis still says Vanilla is the white Steve Harvey.
Well, that's fucked up, Steele. God damn, brother.
I was thinking he was like white cheeseburger Eddie or some shit.
Oh, man, that hurt.
White Grimace.
White Grimace.
Fuck, man. This is like
I got these cheeseburgers, man.
I was the butt of every joke. I'm happy everyone's having a good day. That's why I'm here.
All right, so we all agree everybody likes the Broncos in his first pick.
Yeah, I'm taking the Broncos.
All right, guys. First game Sunday. This is another morning game going back overseas. The Falcons at the Colts, guys, the best team in football. We're going to continue to call them because this is what they were coined until we beat them. The Colts, they will be the home team against the Atlanta Falcons. 9:30 start Sunday. Finch, Falcons at Colts. Who do you like?
Give me the Colts, man.
Okay, Mike?
I'm taking the Colts.
I like the Falcons in this one, and I'm going to tell you why. Because this is going to be the game that exposes them, and the people are going to start to say that the Colts are not an elite team. The Falcons, they find ways to win games this season so far. This is going to show the world that the Colts were a fluke. That's just my opinion. Next game on the list, guys, the first 1 o'clock game on Sunday is the Browns at Jets. Finch, Browns at Jets.
Oh, man, the toilet bowl. The Browns are going to win this game, I think. They have semblance of being a team that can win football games. The Jets just got lucky once. So give me the Browns.
Mike, Browns at Jets. In New Jersey.
Give me the Browns. Like, the Jets are god awful. They just traded half their fucking team.
And that's what I'm going to say.
Suck, but Browns have good defense.
It's the same situation with the Raiders. This Jets team gets no better this season. They give away. They sold at the deadline. Sauce Gardner gone. Williams, come on. It truly is a shit show going on up in New Jersey. I take the Browns as well. Finch, next game on the list, the Saints and the surprise Carolina Panthers, who could end up in the playoffs. If
Yeah, they got that
continue.
running back who had a monster game. His name
Waddle.
escapes me, but good for the Panthers.
Rico
I like him.
Waddle.
That's the guy. I like the Panthers in this one.
Mike, Saints, Panthers, and Saints also sold as well. So again, these teams that really sold, they weren't good in the first place. It's going to be tougher to pick those teams for upsets. Mike, the Saints at the Panthers.
Give me the Panthers all day, every day in that one.
Finch, the Patriots at the Buccaneers. Now, this one should be a really good game. We spoke about it briefly early, and for the right reasons, I think, as a Steeler fan. Finch, Patriots at Tampa Bay.
I'm giving the edge. I'm giving the edge to the Patriots on this one. They're just playing solid team football right now. I like them. I like the Patriots.
Two tough quarterbacks going to be going at it.
Two guys playing well.
I think the one that has a little bit more experience gets the win for my pick. But Mike, who do you like? New England at Tampa Bay.
I've been going back and forth on this one, kind of like Finn said. New England's playing really good ball. I'm going with the Buccaneers at home. Give me Baker Mayfield. I think it's going to be a dogfight. I think it'll be
a hell of a. It should be one of the better games of the weekend. In theory, it should be. Guys, this game will certainly affect us. A team that we beat and a team that we hate. Finch, the Ravens at the Vikings. The Ravens head up north to play Minnesota. Who do you like, Ravens or Vikings?
I think that the Ravens are back to being the Ravens. Unfortunately for us, but it is what it is. I like them in this game. I like them to win this one.
All right, Mike, same with to you. The Ravens at Minnesota. Who do you like?
I'm taking the Ravens, but not because what Finch just said. I think their defense is still suspect. I think Lamar Jackson can have a really good game against that Vikings defense. I think that is vastly overrated. So I think it's going to be Lamar Jackson beating the Minnesota Vikings.
All right, next one on the board here, guys. The Buffalo Bills at Miami Dolphins. Finch.
I shouldn't have to say it, but it's the Bills.
I didn't even have to bring it up. That's why I kind of hesitated. Bills, Mike, Miami hosting Buffalo. Any chance that Buffalo goes down to South Miami or South Florida and loses?
Fuck no. God, if they do, oh my God, the AFC North or the AFC just blows wide open.
It would take replacement players. It would the team playing would have to not make it to Miami. And they just throw 53 randos from the streets of Miami onto the field and give them red uniforms. That's the only way the Dolphins are winning this game.
All right. Next game on the list, another 1:00 game. The New York Football Giants heading off to the Midwest to play the Chicago Bears. Finch, you've had a semi-interest in this Bears team in the past couple of years because you're a friend. Mike, I'm sorry, Finch. Giants at the Bears.
I like the Bears. They're an interesting team. I've been saying it. They're a little up and down. A little more down lately, although they won last week. But I think the Bears are the superior team in this matchup, and they're home. Got to give it to them.
Mike, Bears hosting the Giants.
The Bears.
The Bears.
All right. Last 1:00 game on the schedule is this: the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Houston Texans for an inter-division game. Finch, the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Houston Texans.
I think this is going to be a really good football game. I like it. I think Jacksonville is going to win it, but I think it's going to be a close one. I think it's going to be a solid game. Could go either way.
Mike?
Shit. What's his name's out? Stroud's out, so give me the Jags.
I did forget that Stroud got hurt. Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but I'm still taking the Jags. So.
The only 4:05 start of the day on Sunday is the Cardinals at Seahawks. The Cardinals keep finding ways to win games. I don't know what to make of that Cardinals team, guys. They seem to stink, and then they come out and they beat Dallas, and they, again, not very typical of what you would expect from this particular team. Finch, Cardinals at the Seahawks.
I was watching that game versus Dallas the other night, and they had Jacoby Brissett in quarterback, and he looked unstoppable. He was throwing dimes, dude. Now, Cowboys defense is awful.
Jacoby Dimes?
But yeah, I don't know. Jadime Brissett? I don't know. But he made me a believer for this game because of that. Give me Arizona.
Jacoby 10 cent?
Jacoby 10 cent? That's pretty good. I like it.
All right, Mike, over to you. Cardinals at Seahawks.
Seahawks.
All right.
There we go, buddy.
They're going to beat them easily.
I don't know.
First 425 game, Finchy, the Lions at the Commanders.
Commanders. It's tough without their boy Jaden in there, so I'm going to go with Detroit.
Mike?
Samesies.
Detroit over Washington?
Yeah.
All right, down to the last 3 games of the week, guys. The last 425 game is a Rams at 49ers game, an inter-division game on the NFC West circuit. The Rams at the 49ers. 2 of these teams are playing. They're both playing pretty good football this year, Finch.
Mm-hmm.
Rams, 49ers. Who do you like?
Another good matchup this week. A nice divisional matchup between 2 reasonably even teams, but I'm going to give it to San Fran. They got the home field advantage, so I guess we'll go there.
Mike?
Yeah, this is a tough one, man. It can go either way. The Rams were playing good. The Niners were playing well, but they injury concerns and stuff like that. But I'm going to give them to them just home field advantage. I think ekes out a victory.
I'm going to jump over Sunday night to very last. Let's go to Monday Night Football. This should be a good football game, guys. The Philadelphia Eagles at the Green Bay Packers. I think Green Bay is kind of itching to get, after taking the loss last week, getting back on it here. Philadelphia, I think, would be the favorite in the NFC of probably the better team, the best team this year out of that conference. Finch, the Eagles are going to Lambeau Field. Who do you like in this one?
The Packers are sliding, man. And the Eagles have been playing pretty solid ball all season. They've been playing like the defending champs. Green Bay is usually good at Lambeau, but I like the Eagles in this game.
Mike?
I'm taking Green Bay. Philly's not what they were last year. They've been too inconsistent for me. Green Bay, I know it's been inconsistent, but I think they're the better team this year.
All right, guys, last game is the Steeler game, of course, Sunday Night Football. It starts at 8:20 in Los Angeles. On Sunday, the Steelers are 3.5-point underdogs in this game. Chargers are 6-3. The Steelers are 5-3. Finch, I'm going to come to you. I need a winner and I need a scorer for tiebreaker purposes. Finch, Steelers at Chargers Sunday night. Who do you like?
I like the Steelers, and I like them to win this game 34-17.
All right.
Ooh, wow.
I think our defense is going to smother them.
All right. I hope you're right, Mike. Same question to you. Last game, Steelers at Chargers. I need a winner and I need a score.
24-27 Pittsburgh Steelers.
All right. So there you go. Awfully peculiar, guys. A lot of times we don't go straight across the board with everybody picking the Steelers. Everybody taking the Steelers today, and Derpy did not get his pick in by time we got done with the picks. So I think he might be. I'll get you a more definite answer tomorrow if I wanted to eliminate him this week or not. Let me grab a few of these messages, Mike. We're going to send it over to you just a second for the website. I'm going to go right here. Vegas says Steve Harvey and his goofy man unit hairpiece. Vanilla is the white Steve Harvey. Phil still says, is there a watch party tonight? Tonight there is not. I know because Mike works and we didn't talk to anybody. And I still don't know what the hell's going on with Derpy. So not tonight, but Sunday. Sunday, we'll get to that in just a moment as well. Tortilla says, no, Vanilla is the Black Bill Burr. The Black Bill Bear.
You're on the list. Tortilla, you're on the good list.
Apparently Mike likes that. Corey says, I think I picked the Falcons in the upset. Vegas says Browns versus Jets will end in a 7-7 tie.
Oh, God. 4-4 tie. That's what it should be. 4-4. Score about me.
Jamal says Vanilla is now the Chocolate Thunder. The Chocolate Thunder. There you go.
Jamal, you're on the friend list. You're on the good list too now.
Somber says, when do they bench Gabriel for Shador? Week 11-ish is my guess. Somber. You know what? That's a really good question. It's been such a
probably.
I wonder what the Browns fans are they demanding it? I have no idea.
This thing has really been playing out very odd, guys. You think of the way this played out? They drafted both of these quarterbacks late, and then they had later, not first round, and then when was Dylan Gabriel, Mike? What round was he?
He's a third rounder, wasn't he?
Third round.
Third. So these guys
was in the
top
fifth.
quarterbacks. So then you have this veteran in Joe Flacco. He comes out. You get rid of him. You send him to a division rival. Then you start one guy who I listen. At some point you let this guy Shador Sanders play. What's going on in Cleveland? What is going on, Mike? Why isn't this guy played yet?
General incompetence
Is
of
that
that team.
is that what it is?
Yeah, like you've seen what you've got from Dylan Gabriel. You're not winning games. Put
Listen.
Shador and see what he has for a couple games, and then evaluate and go, who do we want to finish the season with, or do we want to keep splitting it up? Who goes, who plays, who's not? You're not going anywhere. See what each guy has.
You
kind of got
started
a
one rookie already. Why wouldn't you start a rookie who's a Deion Sanders DNA?
I don't think either of them are going to be good, but you have to find out.
Well, that's neither here nor there. The point is they let one rookie play, start all this time, and the person that actually has it in his blood hasn't even had a chance. That's my problem. They haven't even given. This tells me it's something more than what's being talked about. I don't know what it is, but guys, after getting blackballed in the draft this year, I mean, come on, he wasn't good enough to go in any of those rounds prior to that. That's crazy. I don't know what's going on with him, but again, Mike, I think that the marriage between this situation and the Cleveland Browns is just wonderful because Cleveland always brings us this creepy entertainment that they always have, and here we are. But my question is, why one rookie gets all this playing time? And again, I personally, say Dylan Gabriel's better. I give the person who has the family genes a little bit more of the nod. That's just me personally. The fact that he has not played, I think, is crazy because this team stinks. Why won't they let a guy play? That is way beyond me. So just my opinion on that. Chocolate Lightning is what Tortilla is saying for Mike. Chocolate Lightning. Corey Beaver says, I said it in preseason that Carolina was going to take a step this year and make the playoffs. He follows it up by saying, should we consider the Vikings for the win? They just beat the Lions with J-Mac back. They have a loaded wide receiver core. Ravens D is still suspect. I think I'm going to take the Vikings in that one. Tortilla says, Brissett. You know what? Brissett always plays good. I never had a problem with Jacoby Brissett. I thought when he was in Cleveland, he looked good everywhere he went. You're building a championship team around him? No, but this guy could keep you in football games. Jacoby Quarters is what Corey's calling him. Vegas says Green Bay lost their tight end. That killed us. Yeah, Kraft, he's out, huh?
Yeah, he's out.
Somber said Steelers 24-17. Tortilla says Derpy is in the middle of shooting the next episode of The Biggest Loser.
It's just him sitting around playing video games.
Yeah, with no shirt on. So, Phyllis still says 3-2 Steelers win, just another game. Phyllis still, we should expect that score every week, I think, from Phil. Tortilla says 30-3. Boss hits the last second field goal to cut the lead to 27. Vegas says blackballed by a bunch of old white people. I don't know what's going on. Again, it just seems awfully strange. I mean, listen, the guy wasn't have your number retired from Colorado good, but he should be good enough to get snaps on a Cleveland Brown team. Come on. Corey says it's a mixture of his attitude and Stefanski. I bet he's on the hot seat. I couldn't imagine Stefanski's going to be around much longer. Mike, what else I can't imagine is not going any longer without hearing about the website. Why don't you tell everybody?
The2dumbyinzers.com. Check it out, everyone. You know it's over there. We got the dumb thoughts. We got the merch store. Got all of our links. Check it out at the2dumbyinzers.com.
All right, guys, time for the question of the day. How well do you know your enemy? How well do you know your opponent? This is a Charger question, as will be the rest of the week. Mike Finch, put on your thinking caps, everybody. Here we go. This is the question of the day. What is the most amount of wins the Chargers have ever had in a single regular season? Mind you, they went 16 games for many years, 17 games over the past, how many? Question of the day. What is the most regular season wins the Chargers ever had in a year? For example, the Steelers is 15. We went 15-1 back in 2004. The Patriots in 2007 went 16-0. Mm-hmm. Question of the day. What is the most wins the Chargers ever had in a single season? Take a minute to think that over, guys. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. right here on the Tube.
On Tube.
All right, Mike. I'm seeing 14s, a couple 14s on the board, but I'm going to start with Finch. Finch, what is the most amount of wins that the Chargers ever had in a season?
That 14 was a number that popped into my head, too. I remember in the 90s, the Chargers had a couple pretty decent squads. One of them went to the Super Bowl, beat the Steelers on the way to the Super Bowl, where they got thoroughly thumped by Steve Young. But they also had a really good squad in, I think it was 2010 or 2011, that won a whole bunch of games with Phillip Rivers. And a lot of people consider one of the best teams of that era. And they flopped. I think 14 is the right answer. I think 14-2, and I feel like they've done it twice.
Mike, comes over to you. Either everybody in the world knows this answer for some reason, or it's something different. Everybody says 14. Mike, the question is, what is the most wins the Chargers ever had in a single regular season?
I'm going to go with 13.
13. Just to be different, to make it seem like you didn't look it up?
Exactly. I did not look at it.
All right, so 13 for you, 14 for Finch. These are final answers, guys.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, locking you in. Final answer. Here it is, guys. The question is, what is the most amount of wins that the Chargers ever had in a regular season, in one regular season? A lot of people on the board is saying 14. Maybe there's something I don't know. I had to look it up. I didn't know this answer. Christopher is saying 15 with Phillip Rivers. Phil's saying 13. Mike, he agrees with you, 13. Everybody else has a bunch of 14s up here with you, Finch. The answer, of course, is 2006. The San Diego Chargers went 14-2.
14-6. It's further back than I thought.
Let me see. Tortilla 14. Vegas says 14-2. Got Marty fired. Corey says 14-2 with Tomlinson leading the league in touchdowns and yards. Lost to the Colts or Patriots in the playoff that year. Scott says 14, and they lost to Tom Brady at home. Vegas says jackass owner jinxed this franchise forever. No, not including the playoffs, just regular season on that one. Fudge just. I'm not sure what got clogged there for Phil. Something got clogged. Rico Dowdle Tortilla says Chargers in the playoffs. Phil said 13. Chris was at 15 with Phillip Rivers, and Tortilla Jackson says Mike got those Google glasses. We often wonder why Mike wears sunglasses on the show, and but there you are. There it goes, guys. Anyway you slice it, the answer, of course, was 14-2. That was back in 2006. I had no clue. I did not know that. Good job, guys. Phil still says, oh, shit, he just plugged his toilet. He just clogged his toilet up. Time to call the plumber. Vegas says, crazy how they fired Marty Schottenheimer. Guys, wonderful show today. I want to thank everybody for coming and hanging out and checking us out. We certainly appreciate you so much. We really, truly, honestly do. I want to say thank you to the all famous Terrible Board guys. You guys always keep this show very interesting. Greatly appreciated. And everybody that maybe is just watching or listening at home with their earbuds, headphones, or on your big screen TV, thank you too. Finch, anything before we do get ready to wrap it up for today?
Yeah. Sunday, as we've been teasing all week, Sunday, we're hoping to get together here at the crib and have a live Two Dumb Yinzers with all four of us. Things are looking good for that. Please be here Sunday evening for that. Somebody mentioned doing a live stream tonight for the game. I might just pop up, just grab the iPad and say, I'm going to watch a game anyway. I'm off tonight and tomorrow. So I might, if I feel like it, I'll pop up. Maybe we'll do something. And then one last thing. One of my favorite things lately to do on the show is to live cut you guys when you say something a little off and then turn it into an out of context thing. That's something we've been doing a little bit here. And I got a really good one today. You ready?
Yeah. 2 sacks is sexy. What's
play that again?
2 sacks is sexy. That is sexy. That was good though.
I was laughing. I had to mute the mic.
2 sacks is sexy.
And I'm just thinking,
2 sacks is sexy.
That sounds like a little dirty there. Hey now.
Cody said the Ravens back to being the Ravens. They just beat Miami. That's like us beating the Saints and saying Pittsburgh is back to being Pittsburgh. Vegas says future so bright. Vegas Vanilla Thunder has to wear shades. A couple other things I do want to say, guys. Also, if you haven't had a chance, swing by any of our social media sites. We are on pages for that matter. I'm sorry, we're on Facebook, we're on X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and even TikTok. Swing by and hit just tap the follow button. Keep up with what the Two Dumb Yinzers are up to on a day-to-day basis. And if you haven't yet, down below, hit the like button, subscribe, share, and even leave a comment if you will. It would help us out. And the algorithm does all this stuff. So again, if you could do that, it would be greatly appreciated. And finally, Finch said it, we're going to be drinking a lot, and I'm talking a lot of Duquesne Pilsner on Sunday night. So be sure to tune in Sunday night during the game. Have us on maybe on the side and just kind of see what's going on. And I know, like I said, Finch, it's hard for me because I don't like watching other things as I'm watching my football. But again,
Sure.
if you do tune in Sunday, come hang out with us. We're going to be drinking plenty
gonna
of
be-
Duquesne Pilsner.
Much more entertaining than Chris Collinsworth.
And there you
Just
go.
mute the
Now
TV.
here's a guy.
Here's a guy. Put
And
us on. We'll be
also-
your commentary. We are the companion. It'll be a good time.
And as I was saying, there's going to be plenty of Duquesne Pilsner there, and I think that you should do the same if you're getting ready to have a few drinks, maybe before the game this week, and maybe you're going to do a little tailgating on your own at home. Grab a case of Duquesne Pilsner and drink it up, man. It's good stuff. Made right here in Pittsburgh. We love it, and these people are friends at Duquesne Pilsner. They do a lot for us as far as promoting and things like that. So, guys, stop, grab yourself a case of Duquesne Pilsner for the big game, Mike. It's brewed right here in Pittsburgh, and as it says on the can, grab yourself a Duke.
Grab a Duke.
Finally, I do want to say, what do I want to say? I want to say, Mike, anything from you as we get ready to wrap things up?
I got nothing, man. Great show, everyone.
Yes. We thank everybody. Let's see right here. Phyllis Steele says, fans, Watt fans, see you later, my man. Also, he says, whoa, what's on the menu? Yes, do come back. We'll talk more about that. We'll get into great detail about what we do have for planning on Sunday, but it will be in Finch's studio. Mike, myself, Finch, and even Derpy making the trek across state lines.
That's
for
right.
This, event. So, guys, again, I know it's tough, but swing over, see what's up with us. Say hi. But we will be Sunday night live doing a reaction for the Chargers game. So we hope to see everybody then for the Sunday night football game between Pittsburgh and Los Angeles. Finch, Mike, anything else? Speak now, forever hold your peace. We got to wrap this thing up.
Great show, fellas.
Have a great day. The board, you guys are the best. You make this 20-minute show into a 2-hour and 20-minute show, and I love every minute of it.
Also, Tortilla says, peace amongst world Yinzers. Aaron Jade, he gets his word in. I'm glad to see Aaron. I always like seeing him on the board. He comes in at the last minute and says, here we go, Steelers. Always great to see you on the board. Guys, we'll be back tomorrow for the Friday installment of the show to get ready to head into the weekend for this Pittsburgh Steelers LA Charger matchup on Sunday Night Football. We're going to get into overs, unders, what it's going to take, what you need to do to win this game, and so much more tomorrow at our regular time. We hope to see everybody back then. For Finch, I want to say thank you, my friend, for being on today. For Finch, for Mike in the Steeler Central Mobile Studio, myself, the two dumb Yinzers. Everybody have a great Thursday. Again, tonight, let's go Raiders. We can take the help for the two dumb Yinzers. Have a great Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.